Hello and welcome to the Old Man Orange podcast. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
And I'm Ryan Dunigan, in person today, taking a break from the Skype for a little while.
I know. The Skype's one of those ones, it's kind of like a constant battle to make sure it all sounds good.
Yeah, and plus it's at the same time you also, I'm just in town visiting for a few days. If I'm in town, I might as well do a podcast. It might go a little smoother. We'll see what happens. I was starting to get used to Skype, but I know that when you look at my profile, it just looks like this. You can't really, the way my room's lit up, it looks like this dark, ominous silhouette,
Because the only lighting you got's like right behind you.
Yeah, like, leave the money in a plastic bag down by the bridge,
I will be there.
It's almost something to that effect.
But the new Batman movie came out, and I even had to go, once again, Walmart's the only place left in the world that you can go fucking buy DVDs at. And
I bought mine at Rasputin's on my right on my way from leaving work. Watched it on my way here, actually. So,
well, I had to literally go up to the people at Walmart, and I looked around, I'm like, God fucking damn it. Like, seems like in the last while, whenever you come to buy a movie, I was there at fucking 12:30 in the afternoon. I wasn't there bright and early. I was there kind of late. And I look and I go like, looks like nobody's done their fucking job. There was half the racks are empty. And I just go like, hey, when are you guys going to put the new movies out? And Larry's like, oh, we were supposed to put them out last night, but we haven't got there yet. I'm like, you want to go get that new Batman for me? And they're like, oh, we'll go in the back. You're like, you're the second person to ask for it. I guess we better go now. I'm like, yeah. You're goddamn right, go back there. I'll fucking walk you back there and hold your hand and make sure you do it right. But they were nice enough to go back and get it for me. So I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm sick and tired of this. Same thing happened to me with Sabotage. I had to buy it off the internet because they didn't have it there like day one. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that'd be a little irksome.
And sometimes I even went there the second day and it still wasn't out. It's just like, dude, get on your fucking job.
This is like actually the first first brand new movie I've bought that's come out like day one. I didn't actually get it day one because I didn't get home till like 11 o'clock at night, but next day I got it, and this is like the first movie I've got like since I don't know when, yeah.
Well, these are literally the movies I look more forward to these than almost anything else. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, and most people just like, I always tell people like, oh my god, did you see the new Batman movie? And they're like, oh, The Dark Knight Rises. Like, fuck no, not that one. There's been like 6 Batman movies since that one.
Yeah.
It's just like one of those ones that's just like, but nobody watches them, sadly enough.
Yeah,
that's the only downfall. Is like it's so hard to find people that actually watch them.
Well, this one's more of actually they call it Batman Arkham Assault to sell it, but really, even though Batman plays a part, I'm not going to say he's the biggest role in the movie, but he does play a big part near the end. It's really the Suicide Squad's movie.
Yeah, and that's kind of the cool thing.
Mm-hmm. I realize that's what they're doing now. All these characters are not sure they can make a movie off of. They're like, all right, call Flash's movie Justice League, Flashpoint Paradox. Make this one about like the Suicide Squad, but have Batman on there.
Slap Batman on the front, make him front and center.
And then on top of that, like the next one's technically Aquaman, but it's called the Justice League movie.
So. I'm so glad they're finally making an Aquaman one, because that's the one we've been talking about for years on these ones. It's like, do they got to make an Aquaman one?
Yep.
So somebody's got to put out, because he's barely even in half these ones anyways. You have a Justice League movie, you're like, where the fuck's Aquaman?
Well, I guess that explains why it's a direct sequel to Justice League War. So, yeah. And this I've read Throne to Atlantis, not the Aquaman story, but the Justice League one. Mm-hmm. And that was actually the first really good Justice League New 52 one I read. The first two they're all right. They weren't amazing. They're all right, but the Throne of Atlantis one was pretty good, but Aquaman was already a member of them. So I'm kind of curious what they're going to do with this. I'm guessing they're going to be pulling more from Aquaman 52 and all that stuff.
Yeah, because they said that, because on that special features, it was, from Volume 4 was where they kind of had a New 52 retelling of the story or what have you. Mm-hmm. So that's just cool, because it's like, Aquaman never gets anything. It's just, he gets the shaft. I mean, fuck, look at that last, Justice League War. They took him out of that one. I mean, it's leading into this, but
yeah.
Even still, I remember watching that going, what? And you take out Martian Manhunter, that's one thing, but then you take out Aquaman, too, it's just like...
And then you got 3 funny people in the Justice League, because you had Flash, who's a different kind of humor. He's more the kind of naive, kind of stumbled into the room. He's he wants to do good, but regardless, he's still kind of a funny man. A different kind of funny man, but a funny man. Then you got Green Lantern and Shazam, kind of like racing to be the funny man of the group, and that just kind of threw off the whole dynamic. And then Superman is Doucher Man, and
well, it's funny because that was one of those movies where everybody was throwing out funny lines, which was it was almost like there was too much comedy in it. Mm-hmm. I think I've only watched that one once since I bought it.
I watched it twice.
Yeah, it's like I'd like to go back and watch it again, just because sometimes once you go back, you're like, okay, I know what it is this time, and then I'll just rewatch it. You know, maybe I'll get a little bit different take, but I just been watching, going like, man, what was this? Like half comedy? I think it was trying to be like the Avengers, sort of.
Yeah,
that you could totally tell.
That's what it felt when you read it, because it was pretty accurate to the actual book. The only thing they had to change was the only real thing they changed was Shazam and Aquaman. That was the only real thing they changed right there.
You know, it's like I don't mind my fair share of comedy. I think there's things that works in perfectly. Like Guardians of the Galaxy had the perfect balance of it.
The only part in Guardians of the Galaxy where I thought there was just one part where I thought the comedy was a little too much. Even though I still laughed, still found it humorous, didn't kill the movie for me. I thought there was one part that was the comedy was a little too much, and that's when Peter Quill is dancing and singing, trying to throw off Ronan, trying to distract him. Right, he's about to bring the hammer down and destroy the world or whatever.
Yeah. That part, when I first saw the scene, I was like, oh, I thought it was going to be too much. But then when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, he's just doing it to distract him. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, that would probably distract a guy like that. Be like,
yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, I still found it funny, and it's not like, I hate this, boo! It wasn't that. It was
mostly dancing and singing is reserved for kind of slapstick comedy.
And he did have the right reaction. It's kind of like the whole, like, shawarma scene in, like, Avengers, like... I don't think it's like hilarious, but I totally get what they're coming from. Kind of the whole part where it's not the fact they're eating shawarma together. Just like they're not even talking. They're like, I don't want to fucking talk to you. Let's not even fucking talk. You know what I mean? I think they're just so wiped out. Like, I get that. I think that's kind of funny, even though I'm not sure if it's necessary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of get what they're going for, but I thought the humor in Arkham Assault was actually pretty good.
No, because see, that one is one of those ones I felt like it works with those kind of characters. It works in the story. I don't know. The Justice League to me doesn't mind me. Not saying there can't be funny moments, and sometimes the funniest moments always come from Batman, but not like weird comedy where it feels like it's written to be a comedy, not just like it's just something funny that seems to happen. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain that. But there's, where it feels like you're almost watching a sitcom, and that's sort of how like Justice League War kind of felt, like a sitcom that has violence in it.
Just like re-edit that like in 5 minutes, just add in laugh tracks. Like when Cyborg like goes to grab like Mother Box Dad, he's all shaking it around like, no! It's like, just like audience left, like, no, Victor! Boom! Like, ha 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 ha. Bum 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 bum. Other side of town.
And then like Suicide Squad, I think what makes it kind of cool is it sort of had, they even said it in like the trailer to it, where they're like, it's gonna be like a Guy Ritchie film. It's going to be kind of that heist style, quick editing. Mm-hmm.
And I saw a little bit of that.
The Penguin's pretty much like a Guy Ritchie villain.
He was basically Bricktop from Snatch. That's what Penguin was. And everybody else, I saw a little bit of Guy Ritchie. I couldn't really pinpoint what movies I saw a little bit of like Dirty Dozen in there, obviously, because that was one of the main concepts for Suicide Squad was Dirty Dozen.
Yeah.
And plus, you don't know who's going to make it out, who's going to live, who's going to die. I was actually going to give the movie credit. I was surprised for how many characters died in the movie. I thought like majority of them were going to make it out, but so many characters died, and I actually give it credit for that, because I was surprised first off, I wasn't that surprised when KG Beast died. So I was like, oh, KG Beast is in this? And like, I didn't know that. He's probably going to die quickly because they didn't advertise him. And then as soon as he says, like, I don't believe you, like, oh, he's going to be the one. He's going to be the one. Because no one really cares about KG Beast. As soon as he walks out, I was a little disappointed, though, because I was like, I want them to take some of these lesser-known characters and do something with them. But
I was kind of bummed that he died. I was like, that guy just needs a better spotlight. That's all he needs.
Kind of like the Electrocutioner.
That's all he's asking for.
You're kind of like, okay, Electrocutioner, he's kind of lame, but maybe we could be done right with the right kind of storytelling. But then, even in like Origins, he was a joke. He just like knocked him out with one kick, and then he's still alive, and then comes back later, like, oh, he just died.
Yeah, no, that's it.
And so whatever, I get it. But
well, this one was kind of surprising. This one felt the most risque out of all of them. It felt the most violent, and then also like, I think it was the first one I've ever seen a sex scene in, like one of these animated DC films. Mm-hmm. Now, for any other movie in the world, that's not that weird of a thing, but just like one of those ones that I didn't expect that coming.
It was just like we didn't actually get a full on. We didn't actually.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying it was like full on like nudity, like.
Oh, not that. We didn't actually really get a sex scene. They started making out, then it cut, and we just heard the banging and knocking around.
But it's still a sex scene, though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. It's not like I guess like a Watchmen sex scene, but it's like.
Still. Hallelujah! Just that song's playing for like. That 20-minute sex scene, yeah.
Oh, it's not that long. It's like 2 minutes.
People made
it out like it was such a long sex scene. I looked at my watch and I was like, dude, it's really not that long. It's like,
I guess
probably just as long as the one in Top Gun.
Yeah, but I guess that one. Well, Top Gun, you had a silhouette most of the time, and all that.
You get the Tony Scott kind of like blue hue light coming in.
Yeah. No, I'm not one of those people like the sex scene in Washington. I know it wasn't 20 minutes, but it was one of those things that I guess I remember that. I remember it felt seeing in the theater. It felt longer for whatever reason. I don't know why. But yeah.
Well, you know, it's not as long as that sex scene in that first Martin Scorsese movie.
Who's
knocking at my door?
That where they play like
where
this is
the original
end.
movie to see Harvey Keitel naked in.
Where they play This Is the End. He just kind of like there's a part where he's just walking around the bed naked for like 4 minutes for whatever reason.
It was like way longer than that because it played the whole song of like the end by the Doors. That was the thing. I was like, only would somebody coming right out of like fucking the 60s in art school would put the whole Doors song in there.
Yeah.
It was before he was probably like, oh, we got to fill some time up.
That's where like he didn't have...
People love the Doors. Put that in there.
That's where he was having cocaine for breakfast.
Cocaine and LSD.
Cocaine, LSD, and yeah.
Cocaine.
Maybe like punch some windows for lunch, you know?
Well, that probably came up a little bit later, because that's still like his first movie. He's probably like, oh fuck, gotta make sure it's all good, gotta make sure it's good. Then once the money starts rolling, it's like,
by Taxi Driver, I don't know if he was on, I know he was probably drinking by that point. I don't know if he was still on drugs or anything, but by Taxi Driver.
Didn't mention that in the special features.
Yeah. I'm not really, I mean, he's got to have an autobiography out by this point or something. By
it's so hard
or at least enough interviews with him.
Yeah, because I say it's so hard to find directors in autobiographies. Like, directors just, for some reason, I don't know why, none of them like to write books.
Except Kevin Smith.
Yeah, Kevin Smith's one of the only ones. I have a Frank Capra one, even though I haven't read it yet.
Robert Rodriguez.
I have it. Yeah, Robert Rodriguez, pretty much. It's close enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like in general, it's like, what the fuck? Why don't you guys write stuff? It's like you guys have really interesting lives.
Mm-hmm. And the one reason why, like, we suddenly started giving a shit about the directors was in the 90s is when they'd have all these weird stories about how they got the movie done independently and all that. And you know, in the 60s, they got to have some stories.
Well, because I think it was all hidden back then, because there wasn't, like, DVD special features and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just like one of the ones, like, you know, this day and age, people know who directors are and whatnot. It's like, you could, I mean, come on. Why doesn't Steven Spielberg have one? Or George Lucas?
I'm surprised there hasn't been a biopic about Spielberg.
Even
yet.
Oliver Stone. He seems like somebody would have one.
As soon as Spielberg dies or he's on his deathbed, they're going to start doing a biopic about Spielberg. It's just going to be called Steven.
Steve.
That's what it's called, Steve or Steven. You know?
Steve.
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 It almost sounds like a fucking, I don't know, don't ask me why. First thing comes to mind is kind of like a Wall-E type movie or something like that.
Sort of like a
some kid finds like a robot, like some kid finds a, I don't know, some kid finds a robot in his backyard.
Finds a robot and turns into a surfboard and becomes a cool kid of school.
So this is Steven Spielberg's autobiography. Yeah. It started off as that. Working title was
Wait till he gets to like the filmmaking process. That's just his childhood.
That's just his childhood right there. Wait till he starts making Duel, and then from there, it's all the stuff we know. There's this whole life he had that we never knew about him being a robot that was found by some kid who learned how to surf.
On him.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
Steven is the board.
This is the proto-90s children's film right here.
Sort of a prequel to Surf Ninjas.
And Encino Man, and E.T.
E.T. Man.
But what was I saying? Suicide Squad, right. So, or I keep on calling it Suicide Squad, but it's Assault on Arkham. But
that's pretty much Suicide Squad.
I was surprised by, like I said, by how many people died in the movie. It's like, oh, they're going to keep them around because these are characters are going to bring around for the next one or whatever. But it was like, oh shit, like, King Shark's head just blew up, and then I was...
Yeah, there's a lot of people who lost their head in that one.
Yeah, I mean, well, when KG Beast died, it wasn't that bad. I think there's loopholes around it. If you can get loopholes around... Plus, it's animated. I think that's the other thing.
Yeah, something about animation, it just always feels like they can almost be a little bit more borderline R than a live-action movie can be.
Well, there's a part where Joker literally picks up, like, Black Spider's head and looks at it.
Yeah.
He literally picks his head up, yeah.
And then Killer Frost, like, freezes that... Is it a guard's head or something? And it fucking shatters on the ground. Or it's...
Yeah.
It was either a guard or it was like a...
It was like a mortician or something.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Poor guy fucking just doing his job. And suddenly gets his head frozen.
That was Eliza Dushku.
The guard?
No. Killer Frost.
Was it?
That was Eliza Dushku.
Huh, I don't remember seeing it on the credits, but I guess it was.
Yeah.
Well, I remember it's kind of weird. It's like the guy that plays Joker, like, I remember even watching the previews, like, you think that's Mark Hamill the whole time, and then it's like, oh, it's just some other guy who sounds a lot like Mark Hamill.
Wasn't that the guy who did the voice of Nathan Drake?
No, I don't think so.
I thought I heard something like that.
That guy's name's like Nathan something.
I thought I heard it was that guy. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
But no,
maybe they just couldn't afford, though. Like, well, in this one we can afford having Kevin Conroy, but we can't have Mark Hamill, too.
I thought this was a great interpretation. I mean, even though they're basically trying to do it like Arkham, it's because it's set in the Arkham Asylum universe. I thought they did a great job with Joker in this. I thought this was a really good interpretation for Joker, because sometimes they try to go too Heath Ledger. Other times they try, like, we'll just totally emulate Mark Hamill the whole time. And I thought this was like a good middle ground right here. And then kind of feel like his own Joker at the same time. I just, I don't know. It's a good middle ground of like classic Joker, but someone who's dark and twisted enough. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Picking up like a severed head and just talking to it, like not a big deal. You know.
I like how they had like a little homage to like Batman Returns.
Oh,
where, with Zaz, except for Zaz not Batman Returns, but like where he's like holding the girl hostage, he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill her and stuff, and then Batman shoots the grappling hook behind him. I was like, oh, you missed, and then he rips it out and hits him in the head.
I like when they do that every so often, you know.
Because it's like those ones like, that's one of the coolest parts in fucking Batman Returns. Mm-hmm. You know, for some reason I feel like Batman, just like in Batman Returns, he just fucking leaves. Like, you'll take care of it. Somebody will get it.
You got it right, cops? Good. You know.
Good, I don't get paid enough to fucking pick up bodies now.
Fuck y'all. Flies up, yeah. Well, no, another thing was, I can't
be doing your job now.
I pay your fucking taxes, you know. No, I thought they did actually a really good job with Batman in the. I feel like such a fucking dumbass. I really do, because there's that whole twist near the end when he takes off. When you find out Black Spider is actually Batman at the end.
Well, one thing I thought was weird when that scene first came up and Black Spider said something, I was like, that's not the same fucking voice as him. I was like, that sounds so weird. Did somebody come in and fill? Like, oh, fuck, the actor left for the day. We got one line that needs to be filled. Because when he said, I didn't think it was a twist at first, but I just went like, why the fuck does his voice sound different? I was like, he doesn't sound like him.
Well, I thought I would have called that, because I'm like, I know that Batman's not defeated. I know that Batman's not limping around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, like, I assumed that maybe he made a deal with Black Spider or something, because Black Spider is just kind of like, he's basically like Lockup. He has no problem, like...
He's not really a bad guy. He's just...
He'll kill like cops if they're in his way, because he thinks he has a more like he thinks he's like it's for the greater good in his opinion. He's kind of like Ra's al Ghul in a sense.
Yeah, or even the Punisher, but the Punisher's a little bit more good guy.
Punisher wouldn't even kill cops.
Yeah, he wouldn't kill a cop, but I mean like that kind of... I always feel like that kind of like Punisher's like the original kind of archetype of that, which technically is probably like a Dirty Harry is the original. But that thing where it's just like they have no problem killing if it's for the greater good. Like that's not a concept that like they have fear of.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think that right there. So I figured it was something like that, and then at the end Batman would knock him out. But then I saw his head blow up. Well, I know that wasn't Batman's head that just blew up right there.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about that scene. I'm like, you know, sort of Batman actually killed that guy if you think about it. Like, he fucking used him as a... He didn't physically kill him, but he pretty much left him to die with the fucking Joker.
He probably didn't even know that was actually... He didn't know Joker was right around the corner, and at the same time, he didn't know that, like...
It was, like, totally fucking like he set him... It's almost like he tied him up and left him on fucking train tracks and said, like, well, I'm not technically killing him. He can get out.
I view it as kind of like, he was just kind of like, well, you know, he's in Arkham. The guards will find him.
You're in Arkham. Shit happens.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you just wait. You just bank on the cops and the guards to find him, and then he was just shitty. Just had enough shit luck to stumble upon Joker, and then
he dressed up in a Batman costume.
They find him like, oh shit. I'm surprised. Batman's a black dude. I really didn't see that coming. You'd think we would have noticed this earlier, but Batman's actually a black dude.
Well, that probably would have happened. They probably would have come across that and been like, the fuck? Somebody came across that body and went, dude, Batman's fucking dead, and he's black.
Like, really? I assumed he was white this whole time. Maybe that was just, oh, wow, that's fucking weird.
One guy's like,
maybe he went white.
One guy's passing a bet over. Yeah. Oh, I totally called it.
I guess maybe he had white face the whole time. I don't know. Underneath the mask. But no, there was...
Really, I mean, I don't want to sound like a racist here, but I really did not suspect that he was a black guy this whole time.
I mean, I'm not saying that a black guy can't do that. I'm just saying, like, yeah, sure, Tom. Sure, Tom. Sure. Just keep telling yourself that. You fucking KKK motherfucker.
Yeah, why don't you ever invite fucking Steve over to the games, huh? If you do, you make him sit on the floor.
Just, it's a
it's only I mean, there's only 4, there's the chair and the couch. I mean, we can only fit 4 people on
and
that.
there's seniority. He's the new guy, so, just...
He's been here longer than Tom. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a bad person.
The life of the Arkham guards. They gotta make friends while they can, enjoy it while they can, because they're all gonna fucking die 2 months into the job.
Yeah, you must have good pay at first.
There
must be a lead on.
It's gotta the benefits gotta start off decent, and then you know what? It's really good pay. It's government job. You know what? If
they're probably looking at oh my god, I get paid $75 an hour. I get 100% medical care, all this stuff, and then they're realizing later that you only work for about 3 months.
Yeah. Maybe the person's worked there the longest is 2 years. I mean, they keep on having they have rotating doors with the doctors, it would seem, because every single time you open up a Batman book, it's always a new doctor there.
Yeah, I've never
somehow
seen
fucked it up, And then, but no, I thought once the characters all started dying off, once what's his name, once King Shark died, which at first I was surprised to find out that was King Shark. I didn't know King Shark was. He just looked really different, but I like the way they made him look in this one right here. And then once they had actually Black Spider's head explode, I was like, holy shit, they just go there? And then it was getting that thing. It did feel kind of like a horror film at the end because you didn't know who was gonna die next. I mean, I knew Deadshot was gonna make it out because
he's a murder mystery.
Well, I knew Deadshot was gonna make it out because he's in the other games.
Yeah.
That take place after this, so I knew regardless he was gonna make it out. Then Killer Frost, she's like, oh, she almost made it. And Bane picks up the car, throws it, fucking explodes.
Well, that's what's kind of cool at the end when just everybody's breaking out and they got Bane and then they got Poison Ivy and got Scarecrow. Fucking stabbing people with needles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which question? Why does he have his needles in his? I mean, I'm not down in the movie for this. It's a superhero movie. I get that. Why does Scarecrow have his needles in his jail cell? Because as soon as the jail cell opens, he jumps and looks like he stabs a guy with the needles.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe he just prison shanked him or something like that. Just real quick shot. But yeah, they had Bane, they had all those guys, and yeah, that was a totally awesome movie. It's one of the better ones, I'd say.
I liked it a lot. Yeah, I thought probably not probably the top 5 best, but damn good still. Yeah,
it's one of the ones. It's more of just a really cool action movie, and I kind of like the style. There's the part when King Shark gets them their gear and they walk almost in slow motion. They probably would have been playing probably LaGrange by ZZ Top or something if they had the rights and they're walking in slow motion, or maybe some song by the Black Keys or whatever during that part.
Huh. Did they have licensed music in that movie?
No, I don't think so.
I couldn't remember
they would have though,
because the music was definitely different in that one.
They would have had something like that though, if they could afford it, because just the way it looked, just because they had the heavy guitar, the harmonica as they're walking in slow motion, kind of like what you see in a lot of awesome heist films. So
I think that's what made it cool, is because it was different than the rest of the DCU ones.
Yeah, it's kind of cool for them to focus on the grittier, darker things on it. Yeah, Captain Boomerang was awesome. I'm glad. Yeah. I always liked Boomerang more than Deadshot, but I still thought they did a good job with Boomerang in this.
Mm-hmm. I always feel like Boomerang just kind of gets the shaft nowadays too, so it's good to see whenever they put him back in there.
Well, my favorite Boomerang is actually Identity Crisis Boomerang, which is when he is just this fat wash up who's trying to prove himself. I was something once, but now he's
killed a boy's dad.
Yeah. He's a superhero boy's dad, but still, No,
You want to know how you piss off the Batman? You kill a fucking Robin's dad.
No,
Captain Boomerang.
But I thought he came back with powers. So, but then they rebooted everything. So,
well, it's I remember because he came on back the Flash one when they had the guys that are writing the New 52 Flash. It was one of the writers or drawers on there was all yeah, well, I never really gave a fuck about Captain Boomerang. I don't know how to write him in there. It's just what do you mean you don't know how to write him in there?
Yeah, if you don't like him that
much. It's one of those ones do you like Batman? Yeah, well, he throws fucking batarangs. What the fuck's too much of a difference between him and Captain Boomerang? I mean, as far as that. I think just write him like that. He's throwing fucking boomerangs. It's what's so weird about that?
I think one of the things with that is you got a character that's more really, if you look at a lot of characters from the 60s and 70s, a lot of them are kind of one note and what can I do with that this day and age? But really, it's just how good you make their personalities.
Yeah, it's how creative your writing really is.
And that's really what it comes down to. I mean, there's some characters, I don't know what saving grace you could have for them. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're gonna do with Stilt Man. I have no idea what you're gonna do with Polka Dot Man this day and age. If you do Polka Dot Man, you gotta do something
weird and creepy or something.
He has to be like, you have to get like Grant Morrison creepy with Polka Dot Man or something like that. You know, and these random offbeat characters that only had 2 or 3 appearances back in the 60s. So
I think it's possible if any single one of those ones, you just gotta either, if they're too kind of like friendly and campy, you just make them really dark and creepy. That's like the easiest way to turn something that's friendly.
We had something similar.
It's the old-fashioned thing of taking a clown who's originally designed to
Joker.
entertain people, and then what do? You make him the most creepiest thing. Joker.
Yeah.
It. You know, all those things.
Well, another example is they had what was the example I was just gonna make? And Captain. I mean, I don't know anything about this character. I've seen him a few times. Sounds like a fucking joke. There's the villain. I already forgot his name, but he's in the movie. There's the villain in Captain America who's basically, like, his whole fighting style, he jumps. He's a French guy that jumps, and he's really super French, you know.
Well, that's Mario's fighting style.
Yeah, and now it's like one of those things, like, that sounds so fucking cheesy, and they showed pictures of him. He had very slender face, curly French mustache, evil grin, bright purple spandex, like, what the fuck are you gonna do with that? And what do? You throw him in Captain America 2, one of the best, most recent superhero movies made. And then on top of that, he has like this. He's like a total like parkour expert that gives Captain America a good fight. So he wasn't a huge part of the movie, but he had a cool scene. So that's one of those things that they're like, oh, so you can do it. You can do it.
You just gotta put a little bit of creative into it. Mm-hmm. Then it's kind of cool. They have the Riddler also in the Assault on Arkham.
Yeah. I mean, this is not my favorite Riddler. I mean, Riddler is one of those characters.
Well, I guess because like
you're saying,
Arkham like is not like the grandest place for the Riddler because he's like you're like fuck you Riddler. Why don't you come down here and fight me like a fucking man?
Yeah, and the Riddler is one of those things that's like, I mean, I don't.
Like, I'll help you find all 100 of my radio towers. I will.
Yeah, like,
fuck that then.
Then one of them has a glitch. Like, all right, fuck this game. No.
Yeah, fuck you and your radio tower.
Because one of them had a glitch and I couldn't get it.
I know, I sat there for like 30, 45 minutes just trying to figure it out.
It's right here!
Well, remember, it was one of the last ones I had to do, too. How, like, the first towers before it starts to spread out to more.
Yeah.
So I was like, the fuck? It's the only one left. What the fuck?
Yeah. That was one of those things, like, the Riddler, I'm not trying to be that guy, like, I don't know how I'd fucking write him in there. But, he was never a favorite villain of mine. I understand if they use him. He is a big villain, and I get him. For me, the Riddler, it depends on who's writing him, and I really like him. I don't know if it was Scott Snyder or if it was someone else who wrote him in those issues of like, because somebody was doing the back stories for the death of the family. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that was Scott Snyder or not, but when he was writing,
I think it was just
when he was writing
issues. Sometimes just don't. They have different artists on them.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just not 100% sure if it was him, but because I know that guy wrote his I'm not sure what the word is, his pupil or whatever, his protege was working with him on some of those. I don't know which ones are which, but whoever it was, that was a great interpretation of Riddler. I like the idea that he's like so smart. He's a condescending dick, yet he's an escape artist. He's like, yeah, well, I was just kind of biding my time. If I just hit this thing in the right spot, I can actually break out of here, no problem. Like, that idea right there. I mean, he's not like a physical fighter, but that right there is really cool to me. And, like, so if someone got close to you, he'd be smart enough to know almost Sherlock Holmes' way out of it. Just, like, hit him in the jaw real quick and then, like, kind of, like, cower away somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, that makes sense to me. That's cool. It's just...
I always like the Riddler a lot. It's one of those characters, yeah, sometimes they kind of write him kind of, campy and whatnot, but, like, I like him how he's in the animated series. And I like when they just kind of write him. He's very intelligent, and he's always just trying to like mindfuck Batman and Robin. Even though Batman and Robin seem to have, for some reason, always just seem to like know all the answers without really putting any thought into it.
I mean, I thought he was good in this movie. He didn't really do a whole lot of action in the movie.
No, he's laying down half the time.
He's laying down, but he just did like just some of the things like, okay, we gotta make an electro pulse to kill off these sensors. You might die, just kind of lines like that.
Yeah.
Put this in your mouth, he breaks the broom handle and gives it to him. So, it just kind of like, I guess you got to give him credit. He's one of those characters who's smart enough to where he can have, like, someone like Killer Frost ready to kill him who doesn't really have any real moral or codes, but he's actually smart enough to actually get her on his side right there. So,
Exactly, and I think that's how you have to write a good Riddler. Is just make him extremely intelligent. Make him kind of like Lex Luthor intelligent.
And I guess the problem with Riddler is a lot of the times he's... Actually, I like the way he was written in Hush. In Hush, Jeff Loeb wrote him really good. But I guess the thing about it is sometimes they write him to where he's like... It's almost like he has one really good riddle, and as soon as they figure out, oh, what the fuck am I gonna do? He can't do jack shit anything. But then, like, sometimes they'll write it where, oh, that was just diversion for over here. You know what I mean? So it's that much. Yeah. I really want to read 0 Year, the second part to 0 Year.
I know that comes out like in a month or two.
God damn it.
I know. So one thing it's like, though it's nice to have the graphic novels, though it would be kind of fun just to be able to read each issue. But then
I walked by.
But it's more expensive, and
I walked by one issue. Because there's a couple of comic stores like all within walking distance of my house in San Francisco, and I walked by my apartment. And I walked by. I just saw there's one. It's one of the coolest images I think I've ever seen with Batman. It's Batman, like in kind of like this Mad Max kind of like survival gear. You can see the bat suit's a little tattered up. He's sleeveless. He has the purple gloves. Mm-hmm. He's kind of like sitting with his legs in front of him, holding a bow and arrow with a big like a military backpack and survival gear. He's sitting on a gargoyle. Sun's rising over Gotham. You see there's vines everywhere.
I've seen that one. That's a really cool one.
Oh, that is one of the coolest. I want to take off like all the logos and just have that single image of that and have a poster of that. I haven't even read that story yet, but
But the picture's cool enough.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, you fucking sold it. You could yeah. I mean, we're probably at least 15 years off from ever having a 0 Year, like, when they do decide to reboot Batman again, they're probably gonna go 0 Year, if I had to guess.
They might.
If they do reboot Batman again, because eventually they're gonna be like, oh, we know Batman again. We all know Batman is an old guy who knows the rules of the trade. They could probably eventually go back to, okay, we're gonna go back to do a Origins movie, but we're gonna do an origin that hasn't been told yet.
Yeah, I could also see him doing that maybe in like a DCU one too.
I can see that. Well, now we're getting closer to like. I'm gonna say this real quick. We are before on the podcast we said we'd like to see some of these movies do like more ballsier experimental things. I think a good example would be, and I'm talking about the live action movies. Mm-hmm. I think that we're getting closer to that. Like, I mean, by like, really, I was watching Assault on Arkham. Mm-hmm. Maybe it'd be a little short for some people, because most movie theaters would have to be like at least 2 hours or an hour and 40 minutes or something like that. Really, I think the movie's almost good enough, and I think people who don't really like superheroes could jump in and watch that movie right there.
Oh yeah, well you can put those because animated movies mostly aren't ever that long.
Yeah, but
animated movies mostly always are just a tad bit under an hour and a half. I mean, even you look at all the Disney movies are like that. Mostly all the Japanese anime movies are all a little bit under that. I think because people go like, that's a lot of fucking work to make a 2 hour long one. I mean, like, you get few ones like Akira that I think's 2 hours.
But I think
maybe it might be a little bit longer than that, too.
What I mean by that, though, is I mean more in the sense of, not doing a really good job explaining this. I think what I mean is, it'd be cool to kind of see, like, a Marvel movie almost do something like that, or a DC movie even do something like that, where it's just kind of like, here's a couple of just mashup characters thrown into this movie. Mm-hmm. Batman's in it, but he's not the main character.
Well, hopefully they'll start doing that with live action ones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think we're getting closer to that, but because I mean, I don't know if you could really. I mean, you could have like a funny little cameo for a second, but I don't know if you could like say Batman's in this movie, but he's not the main character. You know what I mean? And then have all these other characters just kind of work around him.
Well, I look at it like this. It'd be like the Lego movie. You know what I mean? Because Batman's not the main character in that one. But he's there enough that he's one of the main characters, I guess you could still say.
But the thing is, it's animated. And in live action, you're dealing with actors who it's like, well, if we're going to get this guy, we got to pay this much money, so it'll be the point of doing that. You know what I mean? I think that's a problem where I think that we're getting closer to that. The reason I say that is that in Guardians of the Galaxy, there's a bunch of stuff in there that's just kind of, I mean, I never read a Guardians of the Galaxy book. Mm-hmm. I don't know how important Nova Corps is in Guardians of the Galaxy. But Nova Corps is its own thing. There's a whole comic book about Nova. We didn't even see Nova, but we saw the company he works for.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that Thanos was there, and he was just there to say, "Sup," and just leave.
Yeah.
That right there, it's kind of like, we're getting closer to, say, something like a Suicide Squad movie, or something just kind of like to that, or like a Rogues heist movie, or something like that.
Yeah, something where they can
at least
actually,
in the Marvel end.
they can put some of the just like the obscure characters in. Maybe throw in, a couple bigger characters just to kind of show their faces, but then keep with the obscure characters and hopefully from there, you could just sell the movie just as is.
Yeah, and sometimes they say to people like, well, they'll get confused. They'll think they're seeing a Batman movie, and the whole time they'll be asking, "Where's Batman?" I think you could really, but I think.
Well, I think the best thing to do is just don't call it necessarily like a Batman movie, but like put his face on the cover. You know what I mean? Like, let's just say you call it Suicide Squad, and we can finally put that name out in public. Because that's the only thing is I always feel like the Suicide Squad, they can never say it unless it's a comic book.
Well, they couldn't. I mean, I understand why it's a kids show, but they couldn't say it in Justice League.
Yeah, because they called it like
Task Force. It was called Task Force X, but that's their official name. But the code name is Suicide Squad. So, yeah, that was another great interpretation of the Suicide Squad in Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah, I know they put that episode on the special features, which this one actually had some really good special features on it. It had one like on kind of like a Harley Quinn one. I think it was like 15 minutes long, and then it had another one like on Arkham, and it was about a half an hour long. And then there's also a commentary on there. And then the episodes they picked, I kind of like because they got kind of like a nice, like, well-rounded one. It's like there's an episode from, like, there's a Suicide Squad one from Justice League Unlimited. There's an episode from The Brave and the Bold. There's an episode from The Batman. And then there's an episode from something else.
There's a Suicide Squad episode.
There's a Young Justice episode, I think, on there, too. So they got kind of like a nice, well-rounded, like...
Have you watched any of the Young Justice ones on the bonus DVDs?
I watched the first disc of it. Of the season. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, Young Justice is pretty good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Something else I saw. Anything else you want to say on Assault on Arkham or DC in general?
Yeah, I don't know, unless you don't want to talk about it anymore.
I actually saw that new Dragon Ball Z movie.
Oh, how was that?
It was pretty good. It was a pretty good movie. I'm going to say this. If you don't like Dragon Ball Z, this movie's not going to change your mind. It kind of goes in like like a Dragon.
So sometimes animes are kind of like that. Once they start up, if you don't get there from day one, it's really one of those ones you're not part of the club anymore.
Well, I'm going to say this real quick. It was actually kind of a really cool experience. I went there by myself, which automatically sounds kind of sad. When I say it was a cool experience by myself.
Yeah, what I've learned in life though is actually going to the movie theater by yourself is actually not that bad whatsoever.
Well, when I went there, I was thinking I'm probably going to be one of 3 people in this theater, and I went in there and. It was more packed in that theater with hardcore Dragon Ball Z fans than like I've seen for like big summer blockbuster movies. It's Balboa Theater.
Well, keep in mind, when those movies come out, they get limited releases, so people are coming from all over fucking California just to see that movie because they're not playing anywhere. The closest place it was playing is Sacramento.
That was the closest place it was playing here?
Because it wasn't playing Modesto, it wasn't playing anywhere else.
I want to say the only place it was playing in San Francisco was Balboa Theater, which
think about that. You're getting people from San Francisco,
but that's still
from
adds
San
to
Jose.
it, yeah.
Well, probably San Jose probably has their own, but Oakland, all around, people are coming around just to see it. So, and there's probably only like a couple of showings, anyways.
It was kind of really cool to see because the stereotype for like an anime fan or Dragon Ball Z fan is like some fat like guy in sweatpants, and I'm not gonna lie,
that's just the old school stereotype.
That's that stereotype.
For comics, Dungeons and Dragons, computers, fucking video games.
Yeah, and that stereotype does exist.
Science.
To an extent. There was like, and I'm not gonna
biology,
lie, there were 2 of those guys.
Math.
There were 2 of those guys there. I did see 2 or 3 of those guys there, but I saw a lot of other people.
They were doing math problems.
While they were waiting, yeah. A lot of people were playing.
They also had a chemistry set.
Yeah, a lot of people were playing their PSPs while they were waiting, and writing on their blogs or whatever. No,
one guy was just fucking jerking off in the corner.
Yeah. I don't mind.
On a Majin Buu doll.
It was the pink Fat Boo.
Yeah.
No, there was actually it was a pretty versatile group of people. And when I first walked by, I saw like this big like cholo looking dude walking by with his phone, just like this guy did not look like he'd be in a Dragon Ball Z doll. Just looking by his phone, like, the fuck is it, man? I don't know what he's talking about. He's just like, bro, the poster's right over here. See it? Shit, fucking found it. Let's go. So.
Well, I've learned that Dragon Ball Z, like, that is one of those things that, like, you can find guys that are like super redneck, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh my god, they fucking love Dragon Ball Z. Or you can find guys that would not even be near any other anime, but for some reason they love the fuck out of Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, it is one of those shows.
Yeah, and there was like it was actually probably one of the cool. It was one of those times people were cheering and laughing. I usually
condone that activity,
but since it's something that's kind of like I don't feel like it gets enough attention as is. Being at a theater, a bunch of people who love this shit and are actually a little bit more like They didn't just wander in like Battlefield LA. Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This
Pour your
one,
popcorn on the ground, though. These people that work here aren't they're not American enough.
fuck them. They ain't paying my tax dollars, so.
They didn't shoot a gun over in Iraq.
Exactly. That just pissed me off so much, Act of Valor. Just these people just like...
Not Act of Valor.
Not Act of Valor, the movie, just the people...
No, not Act of Valor, the fucking...
Not Act of Valor.
Act of Valor. That probably happened at that one, too. Because when I saw Act of Valor, it was like...
Lone Survivor.
Lone Survivor, yeah.
Yeah, Lone Survivor, that was really good. No, but Lone Survivor, that pissed me off, and people were just like, did I tell you I won that movie in a random raffle?
Yeah, didn't you get a hat for it too?
No, it happened. I was at my job, and I was just like sitting at my booth, and some girls came by like, can you take a picture of you in this hat, and can you hear your name in winner this raffle to win the DVD? And I was like, yeah, sure, okay, and I just didn't think anything of it, and then like literally a week later, I get this call. And basically, they just say, "Oh, you won this. You won the DVD." I'm like, "Yeah, right, bullshit." And sure enough, I get the DVD a week later. So how about that? And Spencer has taken a piss, and I ran out of things to say. So,
Wait, you got more of that story?
I won a fucking DVD in the mail. I don't know what's beyond that, unless like a fucking magic carpet came out of the DVD box and like took me on a magical ride,
Started singing to you like, I can show you the world.
It's like Mark Wahlberg and me on a fucking magic carpet.
I can show you the world.
Look at that guy down there.
Taking a pee. Marky Mark.
That's me. Not taking a pee, but me. Fuck you. I'm Marky Mark. You know what I mean.
From Boston.
Yeah, I love Mark Wahlberg. Anyway,
speaking of winning, I told this to like on the podcast before to I think Josh. And
RJ. Yeah, the Mega Man.
Yeah, like I won the Mega Mans. I thought that was pretty sweet. So that goes to show
you can't.
That just because you look at those things on there and you go like, and they ask you to like retweet or like it or something like that to win, you kind of go bull fucking shit. You can win.
And I did.
It's all fucking possible.
I feel bad. I haven't watched the movie yet, but it's sitting there. So it's the Blu-ray copy. It has a DVD in it, but I haven't watched it yet. It's one of those movies you got to be in the right mood, just because like it's like yeah, there's action, but at the same time like
emotion.
We fucking died, So it's like you just gotta, I still like that movie though. I'm gonna watch it eventually.
It was a good one.
But no, anyway, this Dragon Ball Z, it kind of goes a little bit by the Dragon Ball Z movie format, and the movies are always something that, this isn't a complaint, but the movies always seem so much smaller than the actual, like, show, where you think would be the opposite, but it's always kind of like, the show is always this ongoing journey. The movies are like, a course of 1, maybe 2 days.
Oh, yeah.
Some shit went down. And basically what happens is there's, like, this, like, Pharaoh Sphinx cat like god called Beerus. Beerus is his name, and he's basically almost kind of like childlike in the sense of like he's very kind of like I'm bored, I don't like it here, I'm gonna blow everything up, I don't really care.
Is it kind of like the characters on like Advent Children, like the Sephiroth children? Not all of them, but like there's like the one that just like yeah whatever.
To an extent, not really. I mean, first off, I hated all 3 of the Sephiroth children. I fucking hated those guys. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even a hardcore Final Fantasy VII fan.
Well, Final Fantasy VII starts off like in this one time, but when Advent Children came out, it's almost like they're like, okay,
emo.
We gotta make 3 emo kids now. If Sephiroth had kids and they were growing up right now, what would they be? Oh, they'd be emo. If Sephiroth was kind of like almost like 80s metal, what would his children be like?
They'd be listening to the Used and Hotel Tokyo and
My Chemical Romance. Hotel Tokyo probably wasn't even out by that point.
Mm-hmm. My Chemical Romance is a good band though, but yeah.
Well, My Chemical Romance.
They were the flagship.
They're the band that they, later on in life, once I went back without all the fear of like what people might think and took a look at them, I was all, they show that emo can't. There's actually good emo music out there.
And you actually, they're one of those things you're afraid to listen to because you're afraid as you're listening to it, like. The reverse mullet would
your
start
hair
to
just
grow.
Like spin around on your head.
Like no. You look in the mirror, like fucking black, like eyeliner starts to appear.
Out, like ah. like your suntan starts to fade away.
It's like in that Michael J. Fox movie,
Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf, yeah. So basically...
Teen
Emo, yeah. So basically what ends up happening is he ends up...
Goku?
This cat, it's almost, they play a lot more of the comedy in this. I know the movies try to play a little bit more of the comedy. Mm-hmm. So this guy, this Beerus, he woke up from like a 40...
Beerus just reminds me of the one guy in the theater that's all hammered. It's like, yeah, Beerus!
Somebody, once Piccolo showed up, I'm not sure if it was a black guy, but it was like some guy, like Piccolo showed up on screen for the first time. It's like, yeah, Piccolo! I just heard that.
He's like, that's my nigga!
Yeah, I was almost kind of waiting for that.
Yeah, and he just starts to look around like, what? There's no black guy in Dragon Ball Z. That's the closest guy I got. He's the only one I can relate to.
I think there's a couple there's like an evil agent that works for the Red Ribbon Army in Dragon Ball. That's all we
in
got.
Dragon Ball there's some black people, but I was thinking Dragon Ball Z. He's like, look at that Vegeta. Look at that white motherfucker up there. You think I can relate to him?
Yeah, Vegeta. I'll get to Vegeta in a second about this movie, but
Vegeta really is kind of like that. Like, you know, if you're kind of a rich white kid who has a lot of strength and power,
he is like the '80s ski douche of the universe. Really,
even though I love Vegeta, that's my favorite character in Dragon Ball, but still,
I'm still with Goku. I love the lovable idiot. Like, you know, Josh nailed it. Like, he has retard strength, but you just kind of got the lovable idiot with a heart of gold. You know.
Well, really, because the whole point of him is just as long as people are healthy and happy, that's all.
Exactly. And
if I need to like kick their ass, I'll fucking do it. Oh yeah.
He does get actually kind of like like that for 1 minute.
I saw that like. Does he get like a different Super Saiyan in it? Because then like the pictures for it, he has like a.
He becomes Super Saiyan God. He becomes like, it looks like he's when they first get
Super Saiyan fuck.
Yeah. Super
like, what's
Saiyan,
the next level?
He just has a throbbing boner the whole time.
It's just pulsating like. And making that sound like when they sit there charging, it's like.
He's not screaming. He's just like. It's a big throbbing fucking boner.
And then, strangely enough, everybody in the theater just whips out their dick and just starts beating up with it
in unison.
It was like something I've never seen before in my entire life.
And they start doing this theme to the Dragon Ball. And
for old time's sake, they play the Canadian theme. Dragon, beat the dragon, beat it off now. Dragon, beat your dragon, beat it into the screen.
It has like the words at the bottom, little like Dragon Ball, bounce it along, sing along to the words. No, that didn't actually happen in the movie. Believe me, you would have heard the minute I walked out of the theater. Dude, you will not believe this shit.
Just covered in cum, like, oh my god.
I'd wait till I had to take a shit.
You just see the poor guy that's gonna come in and clean it, and they be like, they just look and everything is covered in cum. Everywhere. Like, every street, like, it's like, there's not even a reason to take a black light out. You can just see it's dripping off the walls. He's like, boy, I thought Lone Survivor was bad.
Boy, that was all red, white, and blue jizz. People were jerking off America. You're jerking off red, white, and blue.
Just picture it like the very end, and, like the credits come up, instead of people clapping, they just fucking whip their dicks up and just say, America!
No, that's why, because there's that sad, like, acoustic cover of, I want to say, We Could Be You.
Oh yeah, the David Bowie song.
David Bowie. And just like, just all jerk
for one day!
All these fucking old dudes with their fucking, like veteran, like Vietnam veteran hats and shit, just like angrily, just, fucking veins bulging out of their neck.
I'm a hero.
There was, no one got jerked off on in Dragon Ball Z. Just want to say that now. Sorry to disappoint, but
nobody in the theater got jerked off on.
So what ends up happening is, back to the story, Beerus is basically just trying to, like, he's like this like god of destruction. He's one of the Kais, I guess you'd say. He's like this cat. He looks kind of like one of those hairless cats, like kind of like a sphinx or something. And he woke up after like sleeping 40 years. I'm like, oh, it's just a nap, whatever. So what that Frieza...
Like those ones where like, wake up, just wake up, just like, whoa. What the fuck just happened?
That kind of happens to an extent, because he's like...
Just think if you walked off, like, somewhere here, and you just fucking passed out, and for some reason nobody seemed to bother you. They probably just thought you were a hobo, and like, don't get near him, he might have a disease.
Well, to him, it was like 40 years is just like, that's like a 15-minute nap day.
Yeah, but see everybody, like, passing around. If you just fell, just say if you were in town, and for some reason, you just fell on the ground one day, and 40 fucking years went by. Let's go back in time.
Rip Van Winkle. That's Rip Van Winkle right
Let's just say it's 1974, you fall asleep, and then all of a sudden you wake up in 2014.
People got computers in their computers in their phones, and using words like swag, and that'd be pretty trippy when you think about it. So,
yeah, that's a movie in itself right there.
Well, I'm sure at some point they made a Rip Van Winkle movie, but that's basically.
Well, yeah, Rip Van Winkle, but like...
he goes bowling and like with some dudes out in the woods. He drinks some beer and then falls asleep under a tree for like 30 years.
Wait, what do you think they did with his body for 30 years?
Jerked off on him.
They're probably selling tickets. Like, dude, you want to fuck a guy? He's not really dead. He's just
like,
kind of past.
He's like Kill Bill. Like, my name is Buck.
I'm here to fuck.
Who wants to fuck this old bearded man?
He's like, I show up to all these events. I got the in on people that are in a coma. It's just what I do.
You won't be able to.
What's your job in life? Oh, I just wait for people to go into coma and then I fuck them.
Or he rinse them out to people. He just goes in. He just has the Buck has a time machine. There's a whole that's a whole other spin-off movie Quentin Tarantino can make about Buck.
There, now you can finally make a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, there you go. That's Quentin Tarantino's sci-fi movie. The time traveling adventures.
It's just called the movie Buck Fuck.
Buck Fuck. Time traveling story.
It's like, first we didn't think we could put bastards on a title in a movie theater. Then we didn't think we put ass. Well, now we're putting fuck.
It had to happen sooner or later. Quentin Tarantino's the man to do it. But, so, the movie, there's a part, so basically he just kind of like, he's basically, he like slept for like 40 years. He woke up, and now he's like, okay, what happened to that Frieza guy that I left in charge? I just kind of let him do his thing, and then he says, oh, well, this Saiyan named Goku killed him. He's like, what the fuck? Because he has this whole... So he decides, like, I want to fight this guy, because I had a dream about fighting, like, a Super Saiyan God or whatever, because he thinks his dreams mean something. Mm-hmm. So he goes to Earth to meet Goku. Goku's training... At first he goes to face King Kai, and King Kai's like, yeah, you don't want to fight this guy. Like, Goku's like, no, it sounds like a great challenge. I'm really excited. And then Kai's like, no, don't be a fucking idiot. You don't want to fight this guy, So then what ends up happening is they end up getting into a fight. He kicks the shit out of Goku. And he's like, I'm just going to go to Earth now and just see what this is all about. I might destroy it. I might not.
Wait, so Goku fought him on King Kai's planet?
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, King Kai's planet. This tiny-ass planet's
and
always
it
getting
explodes.
fucking...
Yeah, he blows a hole right through it, destroys his car again, all this shit, King Kai's getting all pissed off, of course, Of course. Goku's going to be one of the worst.
What's the other guy's name?
Gregory? Bubbles is there. I didn't see Gregory. They probably killed Gregory by this point. But Bubbles was there.
King Kai fucking ate him and threw him in some meal.
He's like, Gregory, there's no one else here. I like Bubbles too much. She's like, whoa, Mr. King Kai,
King Kai, don't do it, man.
My fucking cricket, you're under the food chain from me.
Bubbles is hungry.
Bubbles doesn't eat meat. I do.
But he'll eat cricket.
So what ends up happening is then he goes to Earth, and Bulma's having her birthday. So it's this big birthday party. Mm-hmm. And Kai gets a hold of Vegeta saying, yo, this thing is coming there. Whatever you do, just be nice. Just if you look at him wrong, he'll blow this fucking planet up. So just be nice. So Vegeta,
that's the one time like the worst person you feel like you should tell.
And Vegeta's the one guy's like, oh no, I understand. Trust me, I'm gonna. And so Vegeta,
I'm a reasonable guy now.
He is. And then at some point, so you guys just going there and Bulma's drunk, having a good time. Like, hey guys, what's going on? These are your space friends. I didn't know you had friends. Just there's a lot of kind of like funny throwaway lines. Like they're having like a big raffle. And Master Roshi's like, he's like, Master Roshi's like, even though he's supposed to be Japanese, they kind of give him like a little bit of a redneck accent in the American version. Now I realize it. Now like an old
Master Roshi,
like an old gold miner. And one of one of the prizes they're giving away a bunch of prizes, but one of them is like Roshi. Well, Roshi actually asked something to that effect. He says like, "Are any like dirty movie star you?" Like it's like knocked out.
And he gets that part where the glasses slide.
Almost.
Hand reaching towards the ass.
That might have happened. That happens so much.
That happens so much in Dragon Ball.
It's kind of hard
especially in Dragon Ball. It's kind of weird because Dragon Ball, at first glance, you look at it like, oh, it's it's more of a kid's one, but it's got like way more perverted like old man stuff in it.
Because she's like 16, he's like 70. So that
makes
it that much worse.
The older she gets, the less he starts.
I noticed that. That is true. There's a part where like they say like how old, like she's 38 or something, and Oolong's like, Jesus, that's old, Like Oolong's just like rubbing in like, that's almost as old as Bulma. Like someone would bring something up and just.
Wait, who'd they say is 38?
Oolong, like Bulma's 38 now in this thing. So they bring that up several times, and every time they say
Goku like fucking 32, I guess.
I guess he'd be right.
Because he's really actually not that much younger than Bulma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'd be 32, I guess, something to that effect.
His life is too exciting. That is too much.
Saiyans don't age that much, though. Saiyans take forever to age.
Yeah, but I'm just picturing, like, okay, so, like, let's just say Goku's 10 years old in episode 1 of Dragon Ball. Fucking 300 and something episodes later to the end of Dragon Ball Z, plus a bunch of movies. All that shit that's happened, that's like the course of, like, what, 20 years?
Yeah, I guess. He should be roughly...
Well, I guess 20 years, because that's like...
It's hard to tell.
It's like the Odyssey, I guess, but like the Goku Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Because
the Odyssey took him fucking 20 years of fucking sail.
Which that wasn't even the war.
You look at that,
you're
like, the Odyssey, it's like, you're like... It doesn't look like it's that far of a distance. It looks like, you know, it's like, oh, okay.
The thing that sucks with the Odyssey, it's not even the war that kept them there. It's a stupid fucking, like, shipmates that couldn't, like, keep a fucking bag full of wind clothes. That's what sucks with the fucking Odyssey. But what ends up happening...
Well, the Odyssey is supposed to be like, it's a bag of wind. Why don't you just explain to them what it is? I think they can understand the concept of wind.
He's got to be hiding something in here. It's probably just a bag of
wind. Why would you have wind? You don't fart in it. Are you saving it? I want to smell. It's like, no.
Back in Cockney Rome, I always liked to ski.
I want to smell the wind.
It was my favorite thing to do back when I was back in the Cockney part of Rome, I say.
Let me see your bag of wind.
Is what my mum would always say to me. Now, Ulysses ain't looking. I'm going to smell his bag of wind.
Just like, whoa, oh my god. I just like as Ulysses comes up and he's just like, it's the one point he's like, oh, I can see my fucking house. You know what? I'm gonna catch some just catch a little bit of sleep right here. Fucking, kick back just a little bit. Get a little bit of shut eye. Second they like close his eye, they're all fucking over there opening up the bag.
I like you say that, when you said they were opening the bag, you're making the motion of jerking off. Like, he turns to jerking off onto the bag.
Well, I was saying they're like,
everything's just
they're taking the rope off as fast taking the rope off really fast is like jerking off the bag, I guess.
I think it's good practice. It's good hamstring workout, you know? No, but, not hamstring, what am I saying?
Ulysses is just really the tale of, like, working with shitty coworkers.
It is.
And how they just totally ruin your life.
Mm-hmm. And only, yeah.
Because really, how did Ulysses get back home? Oh,
by
once they're all dead.
Once they're all dead. Like, you know, once I left all these fucks behind, it always was kind of smooth sailing, literally.
literally smooth sailing.
Yeah. All I need was a small raft. Fuck those guys.
But so that's the thing, is if you're going to sail home, fuck the rest of the guys, get yourself a small raft, and just do it yourself.
Did you ever see the made-for-TV Hallmark movie of it?
It wasn't a Hallmark one, it was
I want to say it was Hallmark.
I want to say it, because it came out, I remember because when it came out, I watched it. It's so fucking expensive. It's like $50 used.
It's like, I remember I watched it in, I want to say it was Hallmark, maybe I'm wrong, but...
No, because the only reason I say it's not, because I remember this is before I had like special TV when I only had like antenna. Mm-hmm. So I know it was either on Fox, NBC, CBS, PBS.
It was fucking violent for being like a TV movie.
I want that one so bad, but it's so expensive.
It literally had like blood spray moments, kind of like Kill Bill or an anime or something.
I remember being so cool because when I was a kid, I was so into that. Actually, me and Kyle were even talking about that book today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, but like go on Amazon or like eBay. It's like it's one because that's the only downfall like movies like that, like those made-for-TV ones, or it's a miniseries. Mm-hmm. It's like they release them once, and like you probably have to buy it off one of those things. Like, to get the complete collection of the Odyssey, call 1-800-555-679.
PBS thing, like
you know, like it'll be $35 plus $10 shipping and handling. That's like the only time you can see it, or what? Now, anytime you're like,
donate this much, and you might get it while supplies last. You know, you're enjoying this Who concert, right? You know,
right? The Who kicks ass, right? They're 70.
What else kicks ass? This Odyssey DVD. So only like 10 of them left, so if you want it.
It's that, or you can pay $55 for it on Amazon Used. I mean, it's your fucking deal.
PBS.
PBS.
I just want to see the point of just like Big Bird lounging in a chair, just saying like, I don't give a fuck, you know. I've been here, I got seniority.
Smoking a cigar.
I got seniority, don't
His
mean I'm...
feet are just like kicked up on like the fucking counter.
He's like, I got seniority, doesn't mean I make fucking anything here though, shit, fuck it. I'm not gonna... I got nowhere else to go, but I'm like the one thing keeping this bitch floating.
I sign some autographs, I keep the place rolling.
Fuck you, what are you gonna do about it? Fuck you, I'm the bird.
Fuck you, Kermit. I'm the bird.
What do you got now, Kermit? Anybody go see that fucking Disney movie? No. People still buy my shit. Fuck you. You know?
Sesame Street. Still legit.
Suck it. Yeah, thank you. And Rose, like, you stay in your fucking place, bitch. I will knock you the fuck out. You know, like brass, some brass knuckles looking Elmo. I will knock you the fuck out. I don't care if kids like you. I will do it on the fucking show if I have to.
I will make you learn your place.
That shit that you got wrapped into that kid like last year, we don't need that shit on PBS. You already have enough money trouble with you fucking diddling kids. It wasn't Elmo. Shut the fuck up.
We all know Elmo likes to diddle kids.
Tickle Me Elmo's just fucking foreplay. We all know that by this point.
Which released that doll called Fuck Me Elmo.
Had a hole in the mouth.
Just like in a porn
Two
star.
in the nostrils. You would not believe how well that sold at fucking adult stores. Not many Toys R Us would take it, but a lot of fucking adult stores took it. Apparently,
You're surprised though how many Toys R Us stores did take it though too. In fact, you would just see the owner of the store fucking load him up in the back of his van.
Selling them behind the store at 3 o'clock in the morning, underneath like a flickering street light.
I love how in that Clerks comic or whatever, how like it's like at nighttime or whatever behind that like whatever like action figure store there is, they're like they have all the guys out there selling it, bidding off. Which strange enough is like kind of like a real thing, but
and there's the whole like part where it's just like, how much for this? Like you can fuck this guy right here. I can't believe you almost sucked. He says I can't believe like Randall said something to the lines of like, I can't believe our career in like pawning figures is over, and like Dante says I can't believe he almost sucked that guy's dick for an Adam Adbar action figure. That one's good. I like that Clerks miniseries. That was a really good one.
and, it'd be cool if he just did a bunch of those.
Yeah, I mean, now we live in the age where he probably will, I bet once Clerks 3 comes out, he'll probably get a couple more ideas.
He'll probably put some popularity back into it that you can kind of release those again. Because the last time, it's sort of like, because I've been kind of going back and watching some of his movies, and I was watching Jay and Silent Bob and Jersey Girl and Clerks 2. And I thought that's like the second I watched Jay and Silent Bob, I'm like, that is the thing. You could make so many movies just off Jay and Silent Bob. It really just almost, it's like, it'd be a perfect, like, somewhat cash cow. Kind of like, like
Super
Cheech and
Groovy
Chong,
cartoon movie.
Yeah, just like, because, there's not, because Jay and Silent Bob, they play like cameos in a lot of the movies, but other than Strikes Back and then Super Groovy Cartoon Movie and then Dogma, they're a pretty big part of that too.
I'd say they're a big part of Mallrats too. The only ones they seemed kind of small in was like probably Chasing Amy was really the one I think they seemed to really.
And Clerks 1, they don't
Clerks 2, they're Clerks 1 and Chasing Chasing Amy.
But I mean, like they're not like the main characters. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But it's just like those ones. I was just saying, like, man, you can make so many fucking movies just off like the misadventures of fucking Jay and Silent Bob.
I'm kind of curious to see what he's doing with this. I'm going to go back to Dragon Ball Z in a second.
Yeah, because we don't even know what's going on in that movie yet.
I haven't even got it yet.
I haven't even got there. We just got to like the theater and fucking what this guy did after he woke up after 40 years and fucked up King Kai's place.
Yeah. It was mainly Goku fucking up King Kai's place. This guy would just like, Goku would go in for a swing, he would flick him with his finger, Goku would go through like the fucking middle of the King Kai's planet, basically. So it's mainly Goku just like slamming into shit and all that, and King Kai yelling, Goku, I told you fucking so. Anyway, that's my King Kai. So, not that good. So.
What are you gonna say about Jay and Silent Bob?
Jay and Silent Bob.
Talking about Yoga Hosers?
I was gonna say, he's now got this whole new like universe he's doing. He's got Yoga Hosers, which is set in the same universe as Tusk, and then he's doing the only thing Kevin Smith's doing, like, think back on that for a second, or at least change the name, Moose Jaws. That's the one thing I'm like, it sounds funny, but at the same time, like, I don't make it, I hope he does a little bit more of an original thing. I hope he's not literally ripping off Jaws and just putting a moose there instead.
Knowing Kevin Smith, he'll probably do a good, like, homage to it, since that's his favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
It's like, I can see where, like, he'll have a good time with making it, and it probably one of those ones like the concept of just like the shark and the moose will probably be like kind of the same, but it'll probably be completely different story wise. I bet.
I'm guessing it's gonna. Yeah, I'm hoping to the effect that he says.
But there'll probably be like a lot of small things.
He said it does have
like,
a kid. It does have a kid in a lake getting eaten by a moose at the beginning. Maybe
like you'll probably that's what I mean. You'll probably have like a handful of homage like things. So like, well, it'll probably be a great tribute to Jaws if I had to guess. Not like a blatant like BC movie knockoff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which I hope that's, I think maybe, well, if it's called Moose Jaws, there's a town called Moose Jaw, so I hope that's the reason why he's calling it that, because I think there's a town called Moose Jaw in Canada.
Is there?
I think so. Maybe that's where the name came from, but But no, I really that's the one thing. Like that seems. I mean, I unless he makes it really weird and really fucked up, like Tusk. I mean, I haven't even seen Tusk, but just the trailer alone.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a fucked up movie. I'm looking forward to that one. But
well, the thing is, like, it's Kevin Smith, so I kind of like. I have faith in that. I will say, if that was like just some other director, I'd probably be like, I probably don't need to see this.
Yeah. I mean, Yoga Hosers, even though it sounds like he's doing a Buffy the Vampire Slayer thing, just with like two girls that work at live in Canada, work at a convenience store or something. So that sounds like that's I'm interested enough. Even though he said it's mainly a girls' movie, since it's Kevin Smith, I have enough faith in him that he's a good enough writer that he can make it clever enough. You know.
Well, I think one of the cool things too, it's like he's kind of like on this like horror trip.
Yeah. I
mean, he's really, if you think about it, he's kind of made about, well, he'll be making 5 horror movies. Because he had Red State, you kind of say, as like the start of it. And then, we got fucking Tusk. Then we got Yoga Hosers. And then we also got Moose Jaws. And then the Krampus movie, too.
Oh, yeah, I forgot the
Krampus movie. So pretty much he's got about 5 horror movies, just like, and really it's like, the closest thing he had to horror was like some scenes in Dogma.
Yeah, I really hope the Krampus pans out. Because he doesn't talk about that one in a while, so hoping he still has that one.
They talk about every once in a while Education, but that's about the only place you ever hear. You never hear him talk about that on the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that one's kind of like it's got, and hopefully he's not doing like the thing where he overloads himself, because we all know how that goes. When you get all excited, and you get all these ideas, and then you realize there's only so much time.
Exactly. Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen with that. But I am looking forward to seeing him do all these horror films because Red State was good. Mm-hmm. I really dug Red State, and I'm looking forward to Tusk. But anyway, I should probably finish my thoughts. Finish Dragon Ball Z real quick. So, Dragon Ball Z. So, he Beerus ends up going to Bulma's party, and he's almost like, yeah, sure, I'll indulge this party. And Vegeta's just kind of like walking on eggshells around him, just trying to make sure he's happy and being super polite and kind of going up to people like, don't talk to him, leave the fuck alone, let him eat what he wants to eat.
Do not fuck what he wants to fuck.
Exactly. So, basically, just don't fuck with him. Just let him be, Let him just do whatever he wants. And things kind of happen. Bulma gets a little drunk. And she doesn't fuck him. I know where you're going. Bulma doesn't fuck the giant cat man. But actually, someone who does show up, this is kind of like, they are trying to do a little bit of like a best of Dragon Ball Z, because they kind of reanimate a lot of stuff. Like when they explain to him like the Goku fighting Frieza, they reanimate it in this new stuff. So as he's explaining it, So they kind of go back. It is sort of a little bit of a best of Dragon Ball Z, just little nods and references they make. Mm-hmm. And because Emperor Pilaf, as well as his 2 sidekicks, the dog thing and Maya, come in. They're kids. Huh. I don't remember. Do they get turned into kids at the end of Dragon Ball? I don't remember that.
I don't remember that part, but I'm trying to go back and rewatch all the Dragon Balls, so I haven't got that far into it yet.
I only saw like the first 2 seasons of Dragon Ball, in all honesty. All of Dragon Ball Z, yeah, I've seen, but not. Yeah. I only seen the first 2 seasons of Dragon Ball. So they come back, and one of the prizes at this raffle is because what's going on? It's Bulma's party. She has like a raffle going on. Mm-hmm. One of the prizes is the Dragon Balls.
Oh, that's cool.
So
of course they're there.
They're there trying to get them. They see Goten. And they immediately think, that's the kid. How'd he not age? They're all freaking out. Like, that's him, And then this one does have a lot of comedy.
I want to say those guys are in it when Goku, because as Dragon Ball goes on, Goku gets older. Because by season, I want to say 4, and then I know for a fact in 5, give or take, he pretty much looks like how he does in Dragon Ball Z. I mean, I guess you could say he's supposed to be like teenage Goku at that point.
In GT, they're old, because they come into GT and they're old. I'm not sure if you count that as canon, though, but yeah.
Well, that's not counted as canon, I think, exactly. But, what I'm saying is, like, Goku's kind of old. I want to say they're still there by that point, so it's like, do they think he, like, fucking grew up and then fucking shrunk back down?
Oh, I have no idea, but they're freaked out. Like, he can't be the same age. They're just freaking out a little bit. And then Trunks sees Maya, and he automatically has a crush on her. And it kind of causes this C story where, like, they're at the party trying to steal the Dragon Balls while Vegeta's trying to keep things calm between Beerus and, like a Dragon Ball movie, it's not like jam-packed with action. There's this general like story with a lot of comedy in it, and then you got a big couple of action scenes in the movie.
Huh.
That's the way it kind of works. It's still a good movie. I think that even though I found it humorous, I could have done without the whole Emperor Pilaf thing.
Yeah, and I know that's kind of like how he started off, is like, because Dragon Ball is kind of filled with like half humor, half like adventure.
This is definitely half humor, half adventure. The jokes are actually kind of funny, but there's a part where, because they're kids, right? They don't realize they're actually adults. Maya goes up to Trunks, because Trunks is a thing for her. Then she puts a gun to his head, like, all right, give me the Dragon Balls! You know, she's all, like, surrounded by, you know, like, all these people that can fly with powers and shit. They'll start like, look at this kid! Like, and then, like, you know, Gohan's actually just a little drunk, not totally hammered, but a little drunk, and he, like, spins, turns into Saiyaman. Uh-huh. He says, like, oh, stop there, young lady, you know, doing that. Like, people are like, oh, fuck, he's doing Saiyaman. Why is he doing that, you know? And then, like, he says, like, come on. Like, he's like, all right, just make it interesting. Shoot at my head. Shoot at my head. It's going to make it interesting. Don't shoot the chest. Shoot at my head. And you're like, what? Then she just unloads the gun at him. He's deflecting. He's like, whoa, those were real bullets right there, you know? Why? You shouldn't be playing with real... Everyone's all, like, serious. Like, oh, I just don't play with guns anymore, okay? You just take the gun from her. You know?
Well, in Dragon Ball Z world, where, like, you know, dodging a bullet's an easy thing, or getting hit by it really is nothing more than, like, a light sting.
Mm-hmm. But then what ends up happening is actually Fidel actually gets grazed by a bullet in the leg. Mm-hmm. Dende goes to heal her, and then she's like, oh, wait. She's like, Fidel. He's like, shit, no, don't tell Goku. Don't tell Gohan. He doesn't know yet. He doesn't know yet. So, yeah. Possibly Pan, or I'm not sure if they're, like I said, I'm not sure if GT counts into, like, chronology, but yeah. Because once he heals her, you know, he senses she's pregnant. Yeah. And then what's happening later, that's when Beerus comes down. The way the way Beerus gets pissed off is Boo doesn't share a pudding cup. That causes a fight. People say, hey, you know, and then, like, you know, he bitch slaps Bulma. Once she says, you can't do that at my party, he full-on bitch slaps her. And then from there, like, Vegeta's like, you motherfucker! Like, charges in. Starts fighting. They all just start fighting. They all get
Vegeta go Super Saiyan 3 in this one?
I don't think he goes Super Saiyan 3. No, Goku does.
See, I've always wanted to see Vegeta go Super Saiyan 3, and, like, they never had that yet.
Gotenks comes in. They fight. They get their ass kicked. That's when Goku comes in at the last minute. He's just like, well, there's no way we can beat him unless we turn Super Saiyan God. And they're like, well, let's use the Dragon Balls to wish the dragon here so we can turn into the Super Saiyan God.
Fuck training. We've had so many adventures where you had to spend, you know, years in that hyperbolic time chamber. And then let's just do it the easy way.
This part's actually kind of funny. Once they had summoned the dragon, like, all right, we're gonna summon Shenron. The dragon's just like, I am the Almighty. Oh shit! He's like, he sees Beerus there. Hello, sir. What's going on? I just, yeah. He doesn't say oh shit, but it's almost that equivalent. Like, hey, what's up? You know, he's kind of just really scared once he sees fucking Beerus. And then he's just like, we need you to bring a Super Saiyan God. He's like, not a thing exists yet, but it's like, bring him here. He's like, it doesn't exist yet, but yeah. So this is how you do it. That's your wish. Fuck off. Boom. He goes away. So what they all have to do, they have to channel their powers into Goku for him to become a Super Saiyan God, and that's what you see him with. Kind of like, he looks kind of like the way he does when he goes Hadoken or whatever. He basically looks.
Hadoken.
You know what I'm talking about?
Kaioken.
Hadoken. Yeah. Hadoken. No, Hadoken. Kaioken. Yeah. That's when he goes, you know, he looks kind of like that, sort of.
Yeah, because I saw he had kind of like red hair or something like that.
That's what he looked like, a cross between that and maybe Super Saiyan 5 or whatever. So, or Super Saiyan 4, whatever the fuck it is in Dragon Ball GT. So, that ends up happening, and he ends up just battling Beerus, this big, long battle. Really cool, really well animated. They blended in some CG stuff, but it actually looks good, cel-shaded. Nice. And it basically ends. It ends a way you would not expect a Dragon Ball Z movie to end any way whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Goku doesn't beat him. He doesn't win.
Who does?
Goku, no one does. What ends up happening is the guys actually get so much respect for Goku because he's still just kind of like giving his all, and he can't beat him. So he's just like, well, you can't beat me, so I respect you. Now, let's take this back
suck my dick.
Credits.
Dragon.
Suck the dragon. Dragon Ball Z. No, they didn't have that ending, but a lot of jerk off and dick sucking on today's show, I noticed. But, so it ends up happening. Ryan's here in person, so it's so much easier to make the dick sucking and jerk off jokes in person than it is over Skype. You know, he doesn't feel yelling it over Skype to where his roommates can hear. You know, so what ends up happening is they end up going down to Earth. He says, like, look, I got respect for you. You are the most talented guy I've ever fought. So I'm not going to destroy this planet. So you have my respect, but I'm still going to destroy this planet. He then charges up.
Just my thing, you know.
He then charges personal. Exactly. He charges up, then shoots, and like blows like a little bit of piece of a rock off. He's just there. I destroyed the planet. He's like, what? Like, I said I destroyed the planet. I didn't say how much of it I destroy. So
it's a cool little twist.
Yeah, and he says like, all right, anyway. Then they have this. I mean, I know it's Dragon Ball Z. We accept it. We got this far in the movie, but they have the okay, we'll come by next time or something. Okay, I will. They have that whole thing.
Yeah, like we're the best of friends now.
All of a sudden, I mean, Vegeta. It took like 15 years to get to that point, but
yeah,
he had to kill everybody, then work with them again before, and they have a one night stand with Bulma for them to be, you're okay-ish,
You get all sweaty in her fucking dad's like spaceship.
Yeah, and like broke it and stole it. So it took time for then it's like, hey, yeah, so we're friends and all that. And then
it's amazing how much people put up with Vegeta though, really.
He's like the guy who's kind of holding shit together in this show. He's in this movie. He's the one that he's like. There's actually one part, and this is funny. If anybody else be like whatever, but the fact it's just Vegeta, it's funny. Somebody does something to piss Beerus off at the party. I don't remember what. So Vegeta is all like, "Hey, look at me!" He starts dancing on stage and singing, dancing like very like cartoonish and bad. But the fact it's Vegeta kind of makes it funny. Yeah, because you've never seen that before.
He's trying. He's really like reaching to the depths, scraping the bottom of the barrel to find something.
And people are like, everyone just stops. Like, did Vegeta just do that? They're not laughing or anything. They're just pointing. Like, did that just happen?
Well, what was the running length on this one?
I want to say it wasn't that long. I want to say it was like an hour and 30 minutes, maybe an hour and 40 minutes. It actually had the 20th Century Fox logo before it. I mean, I know that they didn't make the movie, but they
they brought it to the U.S.
Yeah, so even a limited release, I was kind of surprised about that.
Huh. Surprised. Well, I guess I was gonna say it's like, well, because who has Dragon Ball? Funimation?
Funimation.
Okay.
Maybe they're owned by them.
And that's Funimation owns the dubbing.
Well, I mean, like maybe Funimation is owned by like something that's owned by Fox. Wouldn't surprise me the least bit.
That's kind of, for some reason that kind of surprised me because I thought if Funimation would be owned by anybody, it'd be like Warner Brothers because it's part of Cartoon Network.
Oh. Okay.
Funimation is. Cartoon Network's owned by Warner Brothers, and Hanna-Barbera is owned by Warner Brothers.
I know that. I noticed that lately Fox and Warner Brothers are kind of at a little bit of a like, somewhat of a truce. Because I mean, of all the places you think you could put Gotham, they're putting it on Fox.
Yeah, I know. So maybe that has something to do with it too.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised. Gotham seems like that'd be on CW.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, I mean.
But then again, the only way I can look, it's like, well, animated series was on Fox a long time ago.
At the same time, so was the CW though. It was on WB.
Well, that wasn't CW. It was
that was the animated.
That was for the last season, though.
Yeah, but they still have Batman Beyond after it, and then the Batman.
But that's what I mean, though. Back in the day, though, the animated series was on Fox.
I think it's more one of those things.
Actually,
I think it's one of those things because even though whether you like CW shows or not, they automatically have a reputation of being pretty people and drama and love triangles. And I think that maybe by putting it on Fox, it immediately takes that away.
Yeah, well, because the CW seems like kind of a harder state. Well, I say this, but then they actually do have a bunch of other shows on there that are not that. Those are the stereotypical ones we always go to, but they actually do have a bunch of stuff on there. It's not that. They're similar to anything else on CBS, Fox, NBC. Mm-hmm. But the Batman 66 show is also on Fox, so maybe that has something to do with it too.
It could be that, yeah.
But there's just one's like, no, it's Batman. It goes on Fox.
I can see that. I mean,
Batman Beyond. Well, that's not technically Batman.
That's a boy in tats pretending to be
boy
Batman.
Man.
That's boy man.
Wishes he was Batman.
I like how drunk Batman fits his way into like actual Batman stuff somehow.
But there is that. Well, probably the two is like the CW and Flash and Arrow. Mm-hmm. As long as they don't play them at the same time, that's always like the key thing.
Yeah, definitely that. Well, I didn't see. I'm saying, yeah, definitely that. I haven't seen fucking Arrow yet, so I'm gonna. That's probably one I'm probably gonna. I'm usually once they show them, you can go on like the channel's website and watch the episodes as they come out.
Yeah, you can watch them all on CW.
So I'm probably gonna start doing that. I'm gonna have to probably put up with some.
Or you can watch it on Hulu. They have them on there too.
I'll probably start doing that. Yeah, and do that with Gotham. Gotham's the one I'm really looking forward to.
Is it the one you really look for? That's the one I'm like. I don't know. It's a half-half. It's either going to be a really sweet show or it'll just be kind of like, eh.
I'm expecting there's some stuff I'm going to put up with the first season. Most stuff, there is that.
Yeah.
But I in my opinion, I think superhero shows, they are the ones where they get better as they go on. They usually don't get worse.
Well, yeah, it's like Arrow got better as it goes on. Hopefully Flash should start off pretty strong since it's kind of like an offshoot of Arrow.
The only thing about Flash is that, I mean, maybe they only showed like footage from the first 2 or 3 episodes, but it looks like they're doing the thing like Weather Wizard is the one real villain for the season. I hope that's not the case.
If it's like Arrow, they'll probably... Because in Arrow, in like just the first season alone, there's at least probably 20 different villains and other characters plus.
Okay.
You know, because there's practically one, unless they're maybe like kind of like two-parters. Mm-hmm. There's practically in Arrow. There's practically a new villain each time, and every once in a while they're there for like 2 episodes, and then they go away, and then they might come back later. But like, it was consecutive. Like how it's like almost each episode you're like, who am I going to see next? Mm-hmm. So hopefully Flash will be like that. I can't imagine it just being just Weather Wizard only.
Yeah, I hope that's not the case. Maybe that's just the first 2 or 3.
I'm just gonna assume that might just be the first arc of the story or something like that.
Just Weather Wizard,
and then maybe they can introduce. Hopefully, put fucking Captain Boomerang in there and Captain Cold. And
I want Captain Cold. The Captain Cold I want the most.
Yeah, that's my favorite Flash villain.
He's one of my favorite villains. Is Captain Cold. I like him more than I like Mr. Freeze, and that's because he's just kind of like Mr. Freeze is cool, but he just has that. He has
that old man. It's not just easy to relate with.
He's like basically. Captain Cold, he's a criminal, but he's a criminal with a code. Yeah. And it's more like, look, I don't do this so much for thrills. I got fucking.
They're not gonna hire me anywhere else, so this is my only way to make money.
And I don't play well with other people, so fuck it. This is how I'm making money. So be it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna kill kids. I'm gonna avoid killing cops if I can. But if it comes to that, fuck.
If it's me or them.
Yeah. He almost seems like to me. It's gonna seem weird. He seems like Mr. White from Reservoir Dogs to me. Yeah. Basically, I think of Mr. White from Reservoir Dogs.
Mr. White was younger. He was Captain Cold.
Dressed like an Eskimo. So, or Inuit, I guess is the technical term. But no.
So the Flash.
Make him just the Flash movie. Just get like Harvey Keitel, and like dress him up like
an Eskimo.
Yeah, and there you go.
And call him Captain Cold. You know, now I guess he'd be like Captain Old.
Captain Old, it still works. I kind of like Leonard something. It's Leonard. I forget his last name, but his first name's Leonard. But yeah.
Yeah. But so hopefully they'll just throw in a bunch more Flash characters. Mm-hmm. And then I feel like if they're ever going to use Gorilla Grodd, that probably won't be till later down the line. I
don't know if they're ever going to get to Gorilla Grodd. They might.
Because Gorilla Grodd, he's a pretty popular character as far as the Flash universe goes, but I don't know how you could, like, if regular people at home can.
You're gonna need. I don't know, like maybe.
Well, then get on Planet of the Apes and King Kong, and
at the same time, though, I don't know if CW has that level of motion capture technology, and I don't think we're gonna see a dude dressed up like a monkey unless they do some kind of like they're monkey hybrid people, or they're people just in like. They're not full-on gorillas. They're like hybrid people, and they have like they just have like features and hair.
It's weird. It's like why can't they do costumes anymore? They did costumes for 100 years in movies, and it looked fantastic. And all of a sudden, people are so anti-costumes.
I don't know.
It's one of those ones. Such a sad thing. Mm-hmm. But whatever. Hopefully, they find a way to do it, though. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
I don't know. CG's getting so easy to do now that I can't see why they couldn't do that. Though.
Well, even like in Smallville, when it's not like the show had the biggest budget, but even when Darkseid came in, you could barely see him. He was like a cloud of mist, mainly. Yeah. And you see his silhouette.
Well, Smallville is sort of like that step to get to a place where like they can finally start being, more superhero-like.
And I'm going to say this, and a lot of people are going to say, shut the fuck up. But Smallville had its problems, but really, when you think about it, it probably didn't do as much as the Adam West show, but it's almost kind of like, to a certain extent, kind of the Adam West show to this generation in a sense. Not exactly. I mean, it's a little different, but let me explain that for a second. Because for a while, really, whether you like Adam West or not, the 66 Batman show, that's really saved Batman. Whether you like the interpretation or not, that kind of saved Batman. Batman wouldn't be here today, because that's the reason why they got Batman. It says, well, these rights are cheap. We can make these colorful characters and just
have fun with it. Yeah.
Kids will like it, and we'll sell it.
And we'll put like intriguing humor in it for adults.
And then it just kind of caught on, and people went back to the source as time went on. Now, Smallville is way different, but at the same time, Smallville came out at a time when superhero stuff, people really didn't give a shit about
superheroes went straight downhill.
Yeah, when people stopped giving a fuck about superheroes, Smallville came out, and it was around for like 10 years.
Yeah, and even though it played it safe, you can say that introduced like the concept of superheroes to a lot of people that would never have gave a flying fuck about it in the first place.
Exactly. Now, there's a lot of people I know who liked Smallville, who never read a comic book, but once Smallville was over and Man of Steel was coming out, they were like, well, I'm going to go see Man of Steel because I have a better idea of who Superman is. And, I know who Zod is. He was the villain in like season 9 of Smallville, So.
Yeah, so you can say that it does that. And I think, because that they almost need that safety ground, because that was the whole point of like Smallville, is like make it confuse the fuck out of people, make it look like we're not even selling them Superman, because that's how that show started off. Because I didn't even realize, I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, well, when you're a kid, you're probably like, Smallville, that just must be a town in Kansas. Like,
yeah,
you don't realize it's a made up thing for Superman. It just seems like there must be a Smallville town. Someday I'll go visit it.
It was basically
Someday I'll go and I'll knock on the door of Martha.
There's not a real Smallville. There is a real metropolis, but it's some small little, I think, town in Massachusetts, I think.
Huh, I
Minnesota, maybe. There's a town called, and they have a Superman museum. They did have a Superman museum, and they actually do have streets named after Superman characters.
That's pretty cool. That might have been something that came along later on, though, like after Superman.
I think Jimmy Olsen Drive.
And there's some guy who loved fucking Superman's like, I'm going to make this whole town Superman-oriented.
They might have a Superman statue. I'm not so sure.
But, when Smallville first came out on CW, I didn't think it had anything to do with Superman. Because, I looked at the trailer, and it's like, it didn't look like Superman at all.
Well, I heard enough names. I heard Clark. I heard Lex Luthor. I heard those names.
Because I don't remember that at all in any of the stuff. So I didn't think much of it. I just kind of went, oh, some teen drama bullshit. Fucking like 10 years old probably or whatever when that came out.
It was like
it doesn't look like Batman Beyond. I don't give a flying fuck.
Well, the first half of the show really is. It's almost kind of like, even especially the first 3 or 4 seasons. It's really almost kind of like teenage X-Files in a small town, and it just happens to have a main character with Superman's powers.
Yeah.
You slowly get Superman's powers, and then as it gets to the middle point, it's kind of like halfway superhero, and then by the time you get to the end, they're still kind of like, they're not tiptoeing around the superhero-ness, but they're not like, they're trying to fit it into this world they've already established.
Yeah.
So, Hawkman looks like Hawkman. Hawkman. Hawkman looks like Hawkman. Green Arrow looks enough like Green Arrow. He doesn't have the beard or the mustache. And yeah, Superman's doesn't wear tights till there's actually not even one real established. It kind of pissed me off. Like Tom Welling said he didn't want to wear the tights. Like, motherfucker, you played this character for 10 years. Put the fucking tights on.
Yeah.
And like,
I don't want to wear the tights. What the fuck's wrong with you?
No, well, because there's like.
That's like saying you're gonna be a police officer. You're like, I don't want to wear the badge though. The badge is fucking stupid.
To say an 80s cop movie, Yeah. No, but like there's like a.
Well, that's like being in fucking like the military and being like, I don't want the fucking American flag on the side of my thing. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
it's like, get the fuck out of here, then.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what the situation was. I heard that was the case, and that's the case. But there's
like being like in Hitler's army, being like, I don't like this fucking swastika thing. It's fucking stupid.
Sends a bad.
Throw them on the burning books.
It sends a bad vibe. It sends like a mean, angry vibe. And I want to give that while working in Hitler's army. But no, there's like at the very end, like last season, you just see like the suit hung up like in a case. Very end of it, he goes to put the suit on, but they never show, like, they actually use footage from Superman Returns. There's a part where like a plane's crashing. They use some Superman Returns footage, like a distant shot of him flying and then like floating in front of the world for a second and flying down.
Huh.
So they use like some quick shots from like other movies. And then maybe, like, you might see him from shoulders up turning. You can see he's in a blue and red. But then, like, there is no establishing shot of him there in the cape. And then, like, what the most you get at the very end is, it's still a cool glory moment, but at the same time, it just kind of like, really? The last shot of the show, he's working the Daily Planet with Lois. It's on, like, the day of their wedding. He says, we're going to get married later tonight, but I got to go take care of it. Something's happening downtown I got to go take care of. And then they start playing the Superman theme that we all know and love. In slow motion, Donner one, yeah. John Williams one. He walks out and then slow motion, rips the shirt off, has a Superman S underneath it, and then, but it doesn't go the full, just to that point, and that's when it says like the song kicks in and goes to credits. So it's like you didn't even get to the full part. He wore an undershirt, man.
See, to me, what it almost sounds like, it sounds like right where that show stopped at. That sounds like right where the show became what it should have been from day one.
Yeah, well, no, I mean...
See, that's why I'm glad to see that at least Arrow, like, even though it kind of played a little bit safe in the beginning, like, it never felt like it was trying to hide too much that it was a superhero thing. But it was playing kind of in the Batman Dark Knight kind of world, but other than that, it still was, like, pretty aware that what it was. And then by Season 2, it was clearly aware by what it was. And hopefully by Season 3, it'll be practically a comic book.
I know we kind of have, like, we got... I mean, for me, personally, the Dark Knight Batman world, that is, I think, the best cinematic adaptations of Batman movies. At least 1 and 2. Number 3, really good movie. Really good movie, just not perfect.
Yeah,
it seems to put on the brakes when it could have gone all out. And I'm not even talking, because I think 1 and 2, they still seem a little over the top. And number 2, you can even see it doesn't even go like super sci-fi or anything, but it's to the point of where like, well, Batman does have those stories. Some of those popular stories are more grounded in reality.
Like number 1, what works in that one is it's serious. But the characters don't feel like they're trying to be too grounded in reality.
It still feels like a superhero
even Ra's al Ghul, like, even though they don't ever say it, but you almost feel like he could be using the Lazarus Pit. But they don't, without mentioning it.
They imply, is he supernatural? Is he?
Yeah, it's like, they kind of like imply like a bit of fantasy with him. And he survives his house burning down, all those kind of things. You know, and then also even Scarecrow too, it's like that kind of works with him, just kind of more using like drugs to do it instead. And like, that's pretty much what he does anyways. And then in Dark Knight, I think what works too is because you're using Joker and Two-Face, which...
2 big Batman villains.
Well, no, but they're 2 realistic characters, though. They're not like they don't have superpowers.
At the same time, though, I think
they're not Poison Ivy. They're not Bane.
And if you take away from like the stories that those ones are based off of, the only real fantasy, weird science fiction aspects of those, I think, is Poison Ivy and Long Halloween. If you take that out of it, I want to say the stories that those first 2 are based off of are all fairly like plausible, maybe not real world stuff, but plausible. You know,
yeah.
Where you go to Dark Knight Rises, you got a lot.
It feels
more...
it feels almost like it's the first one, like where they were trying to play it safe, Smallville style.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't go.
Yeah, I would say Smallville last episode, season 10 style. No.
I watched Dark Knight Rises like 2 weeks ago, and I still enjoy that movie. It's not even it's a slow movie, it's just the lack of Batman-ness. And not lack of him in the costume, just the lack of kind of like...
Batman, like, moments.
Well, yeah, Batman moments. It's not even the movie's long or boring. It's just out of, like, he just has it's just like, okay, I'm retired. Oh, it didn't take me a whole lot to get back into shape. Okay, I'm back into shape. Oh, my back's broken. Okay, bye. I'll be out of the movie for a little while until the very end, which is an awesome all-around scene altogether. The last 30 minutes of that movie is totally fucking awesome. But even before that, it's good. It's just Dark Knight Rises, just a break to rise back up again. It's just he could have just been Batman that whole time, and it would have ran way smoother, I think.
Well, I feel the Dark Knight thing, it's one of those things, I feel like we'll be talking about that to the grave. Like, literally what it could have been. Like, it will always be that... And I think it's just one of those ones, because when you see the first 2 and how good those ones did, and then, like, the third one, it's like you just expect it to be you expect it to be the fucking last crusade of, like, Indiana Jones. Mm-hmm. You know, you expect it to be Return of the Jedi. And then it kind of... You
didn't get Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It wasn't that, but...
No, yeah, you didn't get Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but, like... It's one of those ones where it's like, it's good, but I just don't like how it pulls away from the Batman. Because it's like one of those ones, like, it just... When you can't say certain things, or, like, they just treat it kind of like too grounded... Because grounded reality is what loses me in movies.
I did have trouble thinking of her as Catwoman.
Yeah, you know. But, fuck it. At least Green Arrow's fucking
Back to episode 1 here.
At least Green Arrow's fucking treating it, well. They had to kind of tiptoe in the beginning, just in case, that
Is Nightwing
mom and daughter...
Yet?
No, they haven't put any, like, They haven't really put any other, like, superheroes in there other than, Flash.
I heard they were going to bring Nightwing into it.
Well, because they mentioned Bloodhaven.
Oh, okay.
So, like, that kind of was like the...
They mentioned Gotham, right?
I don't know if they ever mentioned Gotham.
They mentioned, like, they mentioned a bunch of cities.
They mentioned Central City.
They mentioned a bunch of cities in, like, Smallville. I mentioned Central City. They mentioned Star City.
They mentioned Coast City, actually, in Arrow.
DC, they keep it simple. Like, well, what's in Coast City's a beach. All right, well, what's Central? Central City's probably in the middle of America. It's just...
Coast City, is that supposed to be, like, San Jose, like, give or take?
I'm guessing Coast City's maybe supposed to be, like...
It's not south.
Los Angeles.
No, they always mention it's in Northern California in the comics.
Maybe it is supposed to be San Jose. Maybe...
I don't think it's San Francisco, but I think it's supposed to be something like San Jose or something.
Is there a military base near San Jose?
I don't know, but I just assumed it might be something like that.
Maybe Monterey.
Because I say that because it can't be San Francisco because it's always sunny.
I assume it'd be like Santa Cruz or San Francisco or something like that.
Yeah, not Santa Cruz or not San Francisco because it's always sunny in Coast City. It's always sunny in Coast City.
Maybe it's Santa Cruz. It's not always sunny there, but a lot. I mean, we're only going on like it depends on what the artist feels like drawing that day. So I'm assuming Coast City.
Well, because I think Star City sometimes a lot of times they say that's supposed to be kind of like based off San Francisco, not actually Seattle. Because I always think of that being based off Seattle, but then and I think it's kind of got a mix of the two in it, over time.
Because you get Emerald Archer, like might as well call it after the Emerald City. So,
yeah, that's what I always thought too. And I've seen some too where like they make it look like they have buildings from San Francisco in there too. But
I want to say that
Central City always reminds me of like
it's Detroit before everything went to shit.
Is that what they always think?
Well, because there's a big car. One of the big things that they're famous for is like car production.
Oh, okay, so that makes sense. I always for some reason thought of it like Oklahoma City. I'm like Central City's dead center.
Mm-hmm. I'll say like the only two
South character.
The only two that really get like really creative names like Gotham, Metropolis. You know, then you get like
Central City.
Central, it's there if you want it to center.
Coast City is it next to the coast? Yeah.
Did you figure that out by yourself? Oh yeah, you know.
Star City, it's shaped like a star. No.
Then there's more than that, but there's Rhode Island. There's Rhode Island, Sunny, whatever the Red Tornado's from. He's somewhere in Rhode Island. I want to Sunny something. I want to say it's called
Sunny City.
Sunny City.
No, I can't remember where the Red Tornado's from. They should give him a fucking movie.
Well, like they give him, he has like the Young Justice. They have his old base over like in like
yeah, they're using it. And I remember that. And he's
a robot.
He's pretty much like the robot guardian.
Yeah. Look, we don't want to fucking talk to you stupid fucking kids. So here's Robo Nanny.
It's just like Batman's over there reprogramming him for him. Poor Red
He has
Tornado.
he has to fight his arch nemesis, Mr. Fister or whatever. Maybe Mr. Twister. I'm going with Mr. Fister.
Mr. Fister.
That sounds more scary.
I remember, I think it's in either Justice League or Batman the Brave and the Bold. It's like one of the saddest episodes I've seen of fucking Red Tornado. Where, like, he makes this, he's like, I want to have a son. And I can't remember, there's somebody else in it. So that's why I'm thinking it's Batman Brave and the Bold. So I'm almost thinking that Batman's there with him the whole time. But it also could be a Justice League episode and, like, Green Lantern or somebody's there with him the whole time. I can't know. But it was like, no, it's literally one of those ones he's like, I want to have a son. Because he's always like, the whole point of Red Tornado is he wants to be sort of human, you know?
It's kind of like
he's
Swamp
the
Thing.
android. He wants to be loved.
He's kind of like Swamp Thing, a creature trying to be human.
I want to love and then make love.
Not like that. All the guys in the Dragon Ball Z theater come jerking off on him.
No!
It's in my
He just starts doing the tornado, fucking shoots back at him. But,
what is wrong with mankind?
No, but like, he makes this boy or whatever and stuff, and it's like, and then the kid just starts acting up like, yeah, whatever, fucking dad, I can go off and do everything on my own. I don't need your help, like almost like a '90s kid. And then the kid's just like, since he's a robot, they kind of make him the one where it's like, you know what? I know how the world should be run. I will take care of it, you know. And so he starts doing things kind of like the wrong way, not the Justice League way. And then he pretty much turns into like a villain in the process, and they have to pretty much kill him. That's what happens in the episode.
And that's in Brave and the Bold?
I want to say it's Brave and the Bold. Because the only reason I say that because somebody's there with him, and that's mostly what the Brave and Bold always is. It's just Batman and someone else. And it's mostly somebody else's story, and Batman's just tagging along.
Yeah.
Straightens up even though he's the main character. It's really, that's more how it is. It's more Batman's like...
Well, he's the one with all the answers.
You watch Brave and the Bold, it's like, boy, does Batman have to like fucking go everywhere in the world and make sure everybody else is doing their job right?
You doing good? You doing good? I know, Arthur, I know you're pissed off because like some whales die and we're going to space with Adam Strange. You okay?
Well, Arthur in that one, he's always like, oh, great adventure, Batman, come on! And Batman's like, oh, fuck.
And that one was all mopey and sad, you know? The episode, I saw an episode where he was sad, he went with Adam Strange, and...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, I let some whales die, Batman, I fucked up, you know?
Well, whatever, Red Tornado, so like, Batman, Red Tornado, let's just say it's Batman. They have to pretty much they have to kill the sun, and he's just kind of like, Red Tornado's like holding his boy. He's like, this was my son. It was what I created, but I guess I cannot create no more. It just ended like this very sad note, just like, oh my god.
Those shows can do that sometimes. They throw a curveball at you.
And I like it when it's like with those kind of characters, you know, you don't think much of. Red Tornado, you know, he's always there. He's a fucking robot. He spins.
He spins.
You know, he's red. Go figure.
There's actually a what was I gonna say? He was
my son.
I was thinking that. Like some Latin choir comes in. The
camera angles all coming up above.
Zooms out. Pouring rain. Tune in next week, kids.
Batman, Brave and the Bold.
No, but like there was like you said that, it reminds me of the episode of like. So this episode of Simpsons, I don't remember what Homer was doing. I think it was the episode where he got obsessed with what inventor was Thomas Edison. When he got obsessed with Thomas Edison.
Oh yeah.
And I want to say Marge says, Homer, you have a tendency when you start something not to finish it. He says, I don't know what you're talking about, Marge. Then he just chucks out some robot. He's like, Father, please give me legs. He just crosses his arms, shakes his head like, oh, starts crawling away.
Get hit by a truck.
Yeah, he gets.
I miss The Simpsons. I keep thinking about it all the time. It's like, man, I gotta go out and just buy some more season sets of it.
Father, give me legs. It's one of my favorite parts in any moment in The Simpsons.
Because it's funny. It's like, I probably haven't seen The Simpsons in at least about close to 5 years.
It's been some time since I saw it.
It's really big, but I still quote it all the time. I still think of episodes. It's just one of those ones. Someday I just gotta go out and just go, fuck, I'm just gonna buy some more season sets and carry on.
Mm-hmm. Maybe if you work your way into it, you might come to like the newer seasons. I don't know.
I don't know because
I'm not saying you will. They had a Family Guy crossover. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
I saw
Makes
it.
sense.
Someone said it, and I just actually looked at it. Like, there's like a collection of clips, and there's actually what I saw was kind of funny. It wasn't like it was different, but it was kind of funny. And like there's a part where like Homer, like Bart and Stewie were hanging out. He's just like, oh, want to see something awesome? He calls Moe's Tavern. Does the typical kind of like. Bart and Mo
and Martin do like the fucking fusion dance. Okay, let's go.
So he does like has anybody seen Wiener or something like that, some total kids thing. He says, now you try. He hangs up, he's just like, hey Mo, your sister's getting raped. Hangs up the phone. So.
I would like to see that, just to see.
But he just looks at Bart. Bart just gives him like this look, like, did you just say that? Just this shocked look right there.
But it's just, I remember the last handful of episodes I'd catch. It's not saying there might not be a good joke here or there. It was just one of those ones. It was made for a different audience, different generation.
I know what you mean by that because I went to go see the new Turtles
movie.
Well, here's the thing. It's not it's not that bad. It's not that great either. It's just kind of, and it's not even like, it's more like, I'm not even gonna give shit because we were all saying like April O'Neil played by Megan Fox. Megan Fox's credit, I did not think of her as Megan Fox, but I also didn't think of her as April O'Neil. She was just some girl.
Her acting was slightly better than expected.
Yeah, well, I'm not even gonna say she's the worst actress. She's just not like.
Well, I think the one thing about Megan Fox is you always go in there with such like low expectations for her. So if she does do a little bit better job than you thought, you're like, well, actually, she did a little bit better than I thought.
Yeah, well,
kind of like Jonah Hex is like, oh, of course, there you go, put her in the role that she can do, a whore, and it will work out perfect.
Well, and the sad thing is Will Arnett, who plays I don't remember his name, but there's
is Shredder Asian?
Yes, okay, Shredder is Asian.
That was a misconception we had for a while.
Because IMDb said that that one dude from whatchamacallit, Lone Ranger in Armageddon, he's the bad guy in a lot of movies. Mm-hmm. He wasn't the bad guy in Armageddon, but we know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That guy, it said that he was playing Shredder on IMDb, but he wasn't. There's actually, I'll say this is one of it's one of the cooler interpretations of Shredder. When they first show Shredder, like, he's bald, he's this really big, buff Asian dude with a bunch of scars.
That's badass.
And, like, when they first show him, this is really badass. He has hands tied behind his back. He's on his knees. No, he's not sucking dick. I saw the look on your face. I saw where you were going with it. He's not
I
sucking
wasn't
dick.
even thinking that, because I was thinking Shredder. So I was like, Shredder doesn't suck dick.
Okay. No, but,
people suck his dick, but he doesn't suck dick.
That's why he wants his turtles. Yeah, no.
Just think of it. 4 turtle mouse all going at once on you. Great training!
No, so what ends up happening is he's on his knees, arms tied behind his back. He has like 3 guys coming at him. He's just like dodging them. He's like on his knees, just they're like swinging, punching. He's dodging them. He like locks one of their arms with his shoulder and like neck, breaks their arm, gets up and starts fighting them with his hands tied behind his back. Oh, so there's like, I'm not gonna lie, the action in it is cool. But it just feels like it was one of those things like I was sitting there the whole time going like, this is dog shit. This isn't my Turtles. Like, it wasn't my Turtles, but it wasn't really, it wasn't horrible. It was just really one of the most lukewarm things I've ever walked out of because the action was really cool.
Is it as good as the third one?
It's better than the third one.
Oh, okay. Well, that's actually giving me some hope then because I don't think the third one's horrible. I don't think it's amazing, but I don't think it's...
Well, I don't know. I haven't watched the third one in some time. I'll say this about it, okay? It's one of those movies, because I don't like the third one. I don't hate it. I just don't really like it. That's how I feel about it.
When I was a kid, I liked it a lot. But maybe because when you're a kid, you're like,
time travel!
God, yeah, time travel, samurais! It's like, that concept alone made you think it was a really sweet movie.
Like, personality-wise, they all kind of defined the Turtles a lot more. Like, because the thing about, like, the third one, they all felt like the same character by that one.
They all like, yo, bro!
Every one of them was, yo, bro! They all got a little bit of that, but they were all Michelangelo.
Yeah, the downfall is a lot of times they'll get, like, and that's sort of like in even in the first Ninja Turtles live-action movie, Like, Donatello's not defined enough in that one. That's my only problem kind of with that one.
He's like the biggest nerd in this, and he even has like a I'm Donatello kind of like voice. And he has
when they
glasses.
show him, he's got fucking like, glasses on and like...
They make him the nerd. They make him like the big time nerd, and Michelangelo, they make him a little bit of a wigger. They make him like this white kid.
Well, I was talking to a guy, before Ninja Turtles came out, I was like, we were talking about movies and stuff, and I was like, he's like, oh man, he's like, I saw, I was really bummed I missed seeing X-Men, but I gotta see, Captain America and whatnot. And I was like, well, dude, what about the new Ninja Turtles movies? He's like, I don't know. They all look like a bunch of like gangbangers in that one.
Well, it's like, it's not so much like, okay, if they try to make Michelangelo, it's not like, if they just try, it's like one of those things, like, if they try to make them, like, a little more black, I'm fine with that, but the thing is, they're making them white kids trying to be a little bit more black. That's the thing.
Well,
at least
that's kind of how the Ninja Turtles sort of always felt. They always did.
They didn't feel that way to me. At least they feel that way with like Michelangelo, because he's kind of like total. What up? He's still a little bit of the what up, bro? Hey, girl. He's kind of doing a little bit more of like. He's got gold chains. He has a single like sunglasses hanging down that he never wears. Michelangelo is just
because like in the other ones, I think it's like they always are kind of listening to like rap or like
just kids in the 90s.
Yeah, I mean I know it's like a 90s thing, but it's like so I can see where they are kind of like they're kind of hip to like the generation of like everybody's one man, fucking unity.
Yeah.
Fucking, I listen to rap and metal.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. That's what Michelangelo starts off with. This one, it feels a little bit more of kind of like a white kid trying to be black with a little bit of like bro in him, basically, is what kind of comes across in this one. And
he's not like fucking like leaning out the window and like the fucking turtle van going like, yo, sweet tits, what's up?
Almost. They
not
actually.
That far off?
Well, no, the very end. They don't get the turtle van until the very end of the movie.
And
they show up, and it literally ends with like, cause he's always hitting on April, like, yo, what up, girl? Come on, man.
Let's go back, man.
Come on, let's go back.
You want to fuck a turtle.
Turtle and a half.
He just like pushes her up against the wall, just like they make him like a douche.
Yeah,
like come on, babe. Yo, come on, babe.
Whispers at her.
Babe.
Like revs up the car. Babe.
Revs up the turtle van.
Their car like takes off like do. Like the exhaust.
Just change fucking Michael from being the fun-loving party guy, just being like
douchebag.
Yeah, you want to fuck a turtle.
Yeah, so like he just keeps
all your
back.
friends be jealous.
He's always like snorting. I would have liked that more. He's got like coke.
He's just got like a leather jacket on the whole time.
He's always snorting coke. He's like playing like 5-finger death punch whenever they pull in. That or Skrillex. No, but like Led Zeppelin. Then like he's like Michelangelo is like I thought Raphael like they just look kind of. They don't look like... They just look so fucking roided out. Like you see Raphael, it just looks like... He's just so fucking roided out.
He just starts off, then like there's a camera shot pan through the sewers and stuff, and you just hear like, yeah, one more! And you get in there and they're fucking just bench pressing 500 pounds, and then fucking Raphael bends over and Donatello takes a needle, shoves it in his ass like, yeah, give me steroids!
I would have liked that more. He punches like through like the cement wall. Like high five. Turtle power, cowabunga! Cowabunga! They like chest slam, like they just fucking like back into each other, like crack into like they like crack through the fucking wall like splinters. Like, what are you boys doing? Shut the fuck up, old man! We'll beat your fucking ass. Get back in your cage. He's like
they're just standing, look at the cage. Now run on your wheel. Run on your wheel, old man. Fucking do it. They start shaking the cage.
Splinter's like, you boys have changed. I raised you better than this. Shut the fuck up, old man. Shut.
Yeah, well, you allowed us to have cable TV.
The alternative, they're just like,
all right, guys, will ruin a generation.
They're like, guys, it's night. Work all night, sleep all day. They're just chanting that going down.
They're like, Applebee's. Who's getting laid? They put on like those fucking masks from the show, like where they really just like men going in to rent a bunch of porno videos.
They just like stumble into Applebee's, just start wrecking shit, like the douchebags, like in Harold and Kumar go to White Castle.
Oh yeah.
like extreme cheddar. Yeah. Like jalapeno pizza shooters, you know, like taking like just downing like you know like Jaeger bombs, bro. Just like start fights right in Applebee's. I want the douchebag Ninja Turtles movie more than the one I just saw. Actually, I want that more. But what ends up happening though is
now how's Leo?
Leo's the best part of the movie. Leo's really good, and of all the people they got to play Leo, it's Johnny Knoxville.
Oh, that's really good. That's
I don't know. I don't know anybody else, but Leo is really good. Raphael, personality-wise, Raphael's pretty good. He just looks really fucking weird.
Yeah, the Turtles definitely have a different look to them. It's like
I get what they're trying to do. I mean, I'm not trying to say like no, they're just trying to do their own thing. But you do want to, in some way, you do want to define yours more than the other, so it doesn't look like you're rehashing the same thing. So I understand it to an extent. And like I said, I didn't hate the movie. I'm just very lukewarm on it, just because it seemed like some things they took liberties with were the things they did not need to take liberties with. Where other things were like Karai's in the movie. So that was cool. Karai's in the movie. But the Foot Clan, they're not ninjas. They're basically they're just basically thugs with guns.
Huh.
And I want
robots?
No.
Damn it. So that's one of those things. I mean, I know for the original one they didn't do it, but it's like from the cartoon show, it's like nowadays, like
Shredder's cool. I mean, they're
why
like,
just make them robots? Like, fuck, come on.
Splinter, he's not like the kind like, my boys, you must. He is like you went out, motherfucker. He starts like bitch slapping him and making him train.
You want to take steroids? I'll take steroids. Just takes 2 needles, shoves them in like his legs. Oh!
He comes in like, hey boys, sorry I'm late. Like, fuck, our dad's here to fuck it up, man. Our dad's gonna fuck. I'm getting with this human girl. Like, Splinter, go the fuck to your cage, man. I'm getting with this girl. Like, hey man, there's always more puss for all of us, man. Come on, we're like a team. We'll tag team that shit. Like, go back to your cage, old man. I will knock you the fuck out.
Because the one thing about the Ninja Turtles movies, I just feel like nowadays it's like when you see things like Guardians of the Galaxy and even things like Avengers,
you should have taken more from
it's
that.
like, why don't you just fucking put Krang in there, and why don't you fucking put like Dimension X or whatever, and just have all that shit in there, and just that, because that's where all the Foot Clan. That's pretty much where fucking Shredder takes a fucking loan is from Dimension X to like fight the Turtles. It's not like he found all that shit on his own. He's really just a guy who like. He's really just a guy that fucking hates a rat, and then he somehow, some way gets involved with Dimension X. I can't remember how exactly he does.
What they actually kind of like tie everything together and kind of make it all like it's all one. Because what happens is April O'Neil's dad was her dad was a scientist who worked for the guy from Lone Ranger. I keep on forgetting his fucking name, but the bad guy from Lone Ranger. No, the bad guy, not Will Arnett. Will Arnett's That's her partner. That's the guy who's always hitting on April, the cameraman from like the cartoon. He looks kind of like Jerry Seinfeld.
He talks kind of like Jerry Seinfeld too, except with a weirder voice.
And I like Will Arnett, but he's like he's the worst. Unfortunately, Will Arnett's the worst part of the movie, and it's not his acting; it's just the writing. The way his character walks in, he always kind of just walks in, just. He'll state the obvious, but with a sarcastic tone. That's the best his character has. Like, okay, we got four turtles. One's fighting a robot samurai. All right. That's the best you got? Yeah, that's the best I got. I mean, I was trying to be clever.
There's a robot samurai in it?
Well, that's what he referred to Shredder as a robot samurai. Because he's all in, like... He's all geared. Yeah, armored out. No, Shredder's cool in it, but...
So the action-wise, it sounds like it's pretty good.
Action-wise, it's good.
Now, if you went into like a meditational state... and you took yourself to becoming a 10-year-old boy again, do you think that you would really like it? How would you think of yourself if you were 10?
If I was 10 years old, all you give a shit. If I was, I don't know, I can't put myself in a state of. Keep in mind, a 10-year-old.
Go back in time. You're 10 years old.
No, let me put it this way.
You're on your third Mountain Dew of the day.
Okay,
because it's a special day because you get to go to the movie theater.
We'll go back to that.
So your mom lets you have 3 Mountain Dews instead of just 1.
We'll go back to that in a second, okay? A 10-year-old this day and age, I'm not sure if a 10-year-old would be impressed this day and age, because we already got Avengers, we already got Dark Knight, we already got Guardians of the Galaxy, we already got a bunch of other movies.
Let's just say...
But going back to yes, I probably would have been blown away by it, but I can still look back on those movies, like 1 and 2, not 3, and I grew up with 3, but 1 and 2, I can look back on...
they're amazing.
And still, like, totally enjoy those. 3,
it's kind of the cheap...
It's in the number 4. In all honesty, I'm going to be.
4 is amazing though.
I'm going to be 100% honest. Even though I like 1 and 2, even though I like probably nostalgia wise 1 and 2, I have a warmer spot in my heart for. Number 4, that probably really is the better movie.
Yeah, it's like that's probably story because they did such a fucking good job on that fourth Ninja Turtles movie, and that movie never gets the credit it deserves.
And that's like, it's not really. I mean, I don't really have. It's not really as like I don't get as nostalgic when I think about it. It's probably really is the best one.
Well, because it's like it has a great story in it. They're able to do a story without Shredder. That's always a key thing for Ninja Turtles. Don't get me wrong. I think Shredder's one of the coolest villains ever made.
But there's so many fucking characters.
But like that's sort of the problem with the original TV show too. It's just. Every episode, oh, who are they battling? Shredder.
Not being this guy, but I wish this movie did the thing where it's just like, okay, well, we're not going to just focus on... I wish this movie did almost kind of like a Dark Knight thing, because I think that was smart about Batman Begins. They're like, we're not going to jump on Two-Face or Joker or Penguin.
We'll do Scarecrow, somebody who's, one, never been in the movies.
And Ra's al Ghul.
So, somebody, two, who's never been in the movies.
So I think they really should have done that. I think they should have started off with lesser-known characters, and then... maybe the stinger at the end, because they plan on making sequels. The stinger at the end is
Dimension X
or Shredder. Like Shredder comes in movie 2 or movie 3. Use like Bebop and Rocksteady. I don't know if they really were in the comics or not, but
Bebop and Rocksteady, you couldn't have them before Shredder though.
You could find a way in.
I mean, yeah, you could, but like Shredder kind of creates them. So.
What happens in this though? The Turtles were created by the company that Shredder, because Shredder was. Shredder is like, raised this, the bad guy from Lone Ranger. He raised that guy. I can't believe I'm trying to play.
You raised Shredder?
No, Shredder was raised by him.
Oh, okay.
Wait, Shredder was... Fuck, no, god damn it, no. He raised that guy. He was orphaned, and Shredder, raised him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he became a millionaire, so now he does whatever Shredder's bidding. So, and they were doing some, gene splicing with turtles. April O'Neil's dad worked for that guy. That guy died, so April O'Neil, these were technically, the Turtles and Splinter were technically her pets when she was
April
a kid.
O'Neil.
And she's the one, once they attacked this, because they attacked the lab one day, April runs in there, grabs the turtles and the rats and throws them in the sewer. And since they did these splicing and all this gene stuff on them, they grew in the sewer. Shredder raised them, and
you mean Splinter?
Splinter, yeah. He raised them, and then he came across some books about ninjutsu, taught himself, and then taught the turtles, and then that's what's going on.
It's one of those ones, even in the original live-action movie, I always thought that, the Shredder or the Splinter origin story was fucking stupid in that one. It was like, it's just from at least the cartoon.
The little puppet.
Well, yeah, they're like, I trained with my master. I watched his move when I was in my rat cage, and it was just like, I thought that was so fucking stupid. That's the only thing in that movie I watch. I go, that is so fucking dumb.
Without the
I love the fucking episode. Really, that Ninja Turtle show. I will say, the downfall of that old show is it's great as it is, but I've learned that almost the handful of VHSs that I own from back in the day. I almost just enjoy those episodes more than kind of the whole series, because the only downfall is there's too much of the same. It's always we're battling. It just really runs together. But the first season only has 5 episodes or 6 episodes, and those are all amazing because each episode is kind of different and explains something else. But the origin story of Splinter, how when he was in Japan and stuff, and then he pretty much disobeyed. The one guy fucking stabs the knife into his jacket, so he can't bow to the leader, and he gets thrown out there, and so he goes to New York or whatever, and he starts living in the sewers because he's Japanese and it's New York 80s style. Fucking nobody wants to see a Japanese person on the street.
Yeah.
So he's down there, and then when the kid fucking drops the turtles from the pet store and they fall in there, and then the ooze or whatever.
Yeah.
They call it I don't know if they call it in the cartoons.
They called it ooze. It was ooze in the cartoons.
Yeah, and then that fucking falls down the sewers, and since they're all in it, they go well, Splinter, since he was around the rats the whole time, he became like a rat, and the turtles, since they were around humans prior in the pet store, they became human. I think that's such a better explanation. It's just one of those ones they never used that one from the show.
Mm-hmm.
Just they didn't do in that movie, and they always try to. I feel like somebody feels like they can make a more creative one or make it more simple, but. That to me makes so much more sense than trying to make it the other way. This one sounds kind of weird. It's he found a bunch of books and that's how. Because now it sounds like Splinter's the same age as the Turtles.
The Turtles were babies. He was a full-grown rat when he got spliced. So
a little bit more logical, but
as much as the logical thing about turtles living in a sewer and low kung fu can be,
and eating pizza and watching old TV.
I mean, look.
Now the only downfall, do they do the thing where their pop culture references are very modern stuff?
I didn't. You know what? I don't know if there is a bunch of modern pop culture references. I'm not sure. They have a Gwen Stefani one.
Well, that's fine because Gwen Stefani.
When they're kids, you see Michelangelo dancing to Gwen Stefani because you see him like watching TV out there. You see,
because the one thing about the other Ninja Turtles is they were always watching.
They did make some, but it's I guess they make like a Batman reference. Like there's a part where
they had that in the trailer.
Yeah, well they add on to it though. There's a part where after he lands down in front of him, he's just like, oh look, he's doing his Batman voice, really good. He's like, sue me, I only saw Batman once, so because they've been living in the sewer the whole time. They're not allowed to go above, so
they don't put their fucking like porn jackets on. And
no, they don't do their porn jackets, the human mask, and go to like take shooters.
They really do, because like when they put those things on, it looks like they're gonna go into like adult bookstore. They don't want their fucking coworkers to see.
They're on their way to like How to Catch a Predator or something. They don't realize it.
And they're fucking turtle rape.
Chris Hansen, they are the turtle rape. No, I was gonna say because
really, if like they got pulled over and they're fucking wearing all the 4 guys in trench coats, and fedoras, fucking driving around in a van.
Well, at the very end of the movie, what ends up happening is they get the van at the very end of the movie, and Michelangelo's hitting on the girl. They're driving away. He starts singing the song, "I can't see my from the Turtles, ironically, from the Turtles. And then, like, all right, Mikey, get in the car. They pull him in there. As they're driving away in the van, he busts out singing the song, and that's how the movie ends, with him singing that song. Huh. So
it sounds like one of those ones, like, because I'm still, like, looking at it, like, it's not made for me.
There's no turtles for, like, the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Okay, well, that's not so bad. As long as it's not like they're like fucking stumbling around the sewers, like, oh, my knee hurts, and then they fucking magically get back together.
There's shit going
on. And then they go out there and Splinter breaks their backs. And
at least there's shit going on in Dark Knight Rises. At least Catwoman was doing some shit. At least Bane was punching fuckers. At least Joseph Gordon-Levitt had a mystery he was solving. This is April O'Neil, like, I know these turtles. I have a connection to these turtles. Look at this. Look at that. I'm going to go tell the news crew that there's giant turtles living down in the sewers that know Kung Fu right off the bat, My boss is Whoopi Goldberg,
Whoopi Goldberg's in it?
She's basically the old crust. She's basically in place of the old crusty dude who's
the
like...
old crusty, showrunner of the
network. Yeah, that's who she is. They Perry Whited
that. Whoopi Goldberg as the old crusty man.
They Perry Whited that shit.
Yeah. Turned to a
No, they really did. They really do think about it because they really did. They're, we're gonna one up Warner Brothers. Not only are we gonna we're gonna race swap. We're gonna gender swap that shit.
Well, this isn't Warner Brothers.
No, it's not. It's Paramount.
Huh? Because the other ones are
it's Nickelodeon.
They're all New Line, but now
it's Nickelodeon films. But it is this one's the first PG-13 Turtles film. So
yeah, I saw that and I'm like, well, at least that's kind of
not like by a whole lot though. It's mainly I guess just by the action.
There's not like a fuck in it, I bet.
There's like
if there's a fuck in it.
There's damn it or hell. The most I think you get is Raphael calls Michelangelo numb nuts in one scene.
What's the most? There's a scene where he calls him a nigger. Because really, it's like one of those ones. I remember when you first told me in X-Men First Class, when you're like, oh, Wolverine says fuck off. I'm like, get the fuck out. There is no way, because we all know that X-Men, no matter what, is going to have a copious amount of children.
Now every one of them, every X-Men movie since like we got one fuck for Wolverine. Well, actually, Days of Future Past was Xavier, but still.
Yeah, we get Xavier saying fuck. So it's like now it's like almost one of those ones like. Making Turtles PG-13, that they could say fuck. I don't know. We almost live in that age where it's just like fuck's not really that big of a deal anymore.
Yeah, we're slowly working our way to it. This has been a long podcast. I don't know what time it is.
It's just
long fucking podcast. Name of the episode.
It's just fucking like Raphael and Splinter, and they're in the restroom and they're gonna fuck this chick. It's like, don't you fuck this up, Splinter! Don't you fuck this up! It's like that's what they're saving the fuck for.
It's just like
you want to do a 3-way? Well, we're gonna fucking do it in here. Okay, that's 3 fucks now.
It's just this movie about 4 turtles and a rat broing out on an angry pussy safari.
And nobody really questions like that they're turtles. They just accept that like they're turtles. What, you've never seen a turtle walk around before?
I would so watch that movie.
Turtle Bros.
Coked out.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Bros. Teenage Mutant.
I want to see that more now. I really do.
That'd be a Teenage Mutant Bro Turtles. There'd be like no ninjas in it anymore.
Doesn't roll off the tongue.
Bro Turtles. Bro Power. Bro Power.
Soundtrack by Five Finger Death Punch.
Nickelback.
And
Theory of a Dead Man.
Theory of a Dead Man. And there's another one. I can't think of any shit. You said all the ones I know. You already admitted to it.
Buck Cherry.
Buck Cherry, yeah. I can't think of shit. I'm out.
That's about it. Fuck. Well, that's probably a good place to see, or to end it at, to see it at. It's a good place to see it at. But,
movie theater.
I still want to go see that Ninja Turtles one. I think I'll see it anyways if I can run across a little bit more extra money. But, because now it's Expendables. I'm like, I had to save money for that.
When's that coming out?
Today, actually.
Oh, fuck.
Actually, yeah, it's contemplating between seeing it tonight or tomorrow and just saving the fucking
Might go see that.
$6.
Is it PG-13 still, or is it R?
It's PG-13.
Fuck.
And they talked about on like the Arnold fans or whatever that there's a bunch of sweet. The DVD is supposed to be radar though, in the Blu-ray.
Okay.
So sounds like the saving grace is that. But I've also heard too, like the Arnold fans were talking, that some of the people that had early access to it, they actually were saying that it's really fucking good. Like it actually is just as good as like the second one, and some people are even saying it's better. So I don't know. Sometimes there is that thing. If you take it and you have to make it PG-13, you almost have to think a little bit harder on how to make the scenes cooler, throw some more martial arts and stuff. But the thing is, I was just watching Expendables 1, and that one, I mean, the first guy that dies fucking just explodes in half, and his body goes flying across the room. Blood is everywhere. It's on the fucking camera. And, I mean, it's just filled with copious amounts of gore and violence.
So it seems so weird to just cut back on that.
Yeah, so it's like, it's not like it's one of those movies where
it wasn't Stallone's
it's sort of like, okay, let's say Die Hard 4. Or 4. That's one of those movies where I think that one you can cut back, because it's not like Die Hard 1 through 3 is just filled with like body parts going everywhere and copious amounts of blood. Yeah, there's more fucks and there is more blood in the original 3, but not to like a copious amount. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So number 4, because at first I didn't even notice that was actually not rated R. It's like Terminator Salvation. I didn't realize that wasn't a rated R movie till afterwards. Mm-hmm. I thought it was rated R the whole time. It was just like, but you're watching just a bunch of robots killing each other, so it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not necessary.
Humans die off screen or in a distant explosion.
Yeah, so you just don't think about it. But where Expendables is just kind of like, well, it's going to be humans shooting humans.
Yeah.
Unless they just throw more martial arts scenes in there, because they do a really good job in Expendables for that. So that's what they could do.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, I'm fucking stoked. But this is probably a good place to leave off at. Make sure to go to oldmanorange.com and check out more videos, podcasts, animations, photos, and art, and music and shit.
We should probably give a quick shout out to Arnold News Network, right?
Yeah. They actually just started to follow us, and they played my comment on their second episode of their podcast, which is doing really sweet. I just listened to the third episode this morning. It was fantastic. They had an interview with Franco Columbo on there. It was badass.
Oh, damn. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, it was great. So, since they gave me a shout out, I'll give them a shout out back, because that's like my favorite news source for anything Arnold. But, also, if you want to help support us a bit, throw us a little extra funds without having to spend any extra, you can go to the website and click on the Amazon or GameStop links. Or if you want to buy some other stuff, you can click on, we got some new ones up on there. We got superherostuff.com, so if you want to buy any cool Batman t-shirts or fucking Marvel t-shirts, and they have even things that aren't even superheroes, but that's okay. You can get Ninja Turtle stuff on there too.
Superhero-ish.
Yeah, superhero-ish. But they got other stuff like Doctor Who and things like that are, I mean, go same. It's superherostuff.com. Why is there other things on there? I know they can go, hey, fucking nerd stuff, nerd. Who the guy that runs it's just the guy's like, I don't fucking even, I just know it makes money. Click on the Nature Box thing if you want some fun things from Nature Box to send you all those everything breadsticks and what have you. But till then, I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Ryan Dunigan.
And we will see you some other time.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to the Old Man Orange podcast. Check out our website at oldmanorange.com for even more podcasts, cartoons, videos, music, and more. Send us an email at oldmanorangepodcast@yahoo.com. Be sure to subscribe, share, rate, and review us on iTunes, Podomatic, or any of the other fine sites we might be located on. And if you want to help out even more, click on the Amazon or GameStop links on our webpage before you make any purchases there. It won't cost you a penny, but it sends us a little something our way. Thanks again, and tune in next week for more Old Man Orange Podcast.